do what they do best.
Yeah, they think they might have the best line in the country, and their skilled people are led by Matt Mock, their quarterback, who's back from a foot injury, and he has a chance to get to maybe the SEC, if not the country, in Michael Clayton. This guy is big, strong, fast, and aggressive. 152 yards in receptions last week, 2 touchdowns, and we may also see him on the defensive side at safety. He's one of the better players that you're going to see in the country.
Well, if you're Arizona, you must control that offensive line, one would think, to win this football game.
Yeah, and that's tough for Arizona because their defensive front is small, so the linebackers will have to help out tonight to stop the LSU run game. On the flip side, LSU, they just want to control the emotion tonight because Arizona will be jacked up. They'll be sky high. They'll want to win against a ranked team, so they'll have to meet their fire with their own.
Well, if they do beat the ranked team for Arizona, it'll be the first victory over somebody ranked since the year 2000. Now let's send it back to our host for the second year in a row, Ernie Johnson. He's joined by the newest member of our broadcast team, Brian Bosworth. Gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much, Ron, and thanks for calling us gentlemen. We appreciate that, too. This is a new look at Studio A, kind of a fall facelift for big PlayStation Saturday. I am Ernie Johnson, and as you've heard, I am joined by a newcomer, a rookie, as it were. I'll let him introduce himself.
Brian Bosworth, University of Oklahoma, linebacker.
To look at Brian, you couldn't tell that he's broken 11 bones and a nose. And that's not even counting his own injuries.
Indeed, one of the best ever play the game on Saturday afternoons. Brian Bosworth is here, and let's set something straight right off the bat. Is it Brian, is it Boz, or is it the Boz?
Well, when you guys told me to come on and do the show, you said TBS, but you said you were going to change the name of the show to The Boz Show. TBS stood for The Boz Show, so I figured, hey, it's a natural fit, right, baby?
Consider it done.
Hey,
it is The Boz Show.
I need a graphic on that, please.
They can get it done for you. How about your team, Oklahoma? They're the #1 team in the country, and I know you've been glued to the set tonight watching them play Alabama. Your thoughts so far?
So far, their defense has lived up to their billing. They've done exactly what they need to do. The speed they've got on the defense in the secondary, the power they got on the defensive line. They've made a couple of mistakes in the secondary, but I tell you, the defense overall is controlling this game, and I think on both sides of the ball, Alabama's defense is keeping out that play right there. Alabama's got this game a lot tighter.
So the Boz Show is underway. Get a good look at the man. He's now 38 years old and a father of 3. You may remember him better this way. The various looks, the hairstyles, the whole thing that made the Boz the Boz. Is that downtown Julie Brown?
That is downtown Julie Brown.
What you got in your mouth there, big fella?
You don't want to know about that.
Okay, look, I don't want to know about that hair either.
And we brought color to college football. We brought color to sports in general, and we just did it by accident. We just kind of fell into it. So we had some fun with it. Look where it's going. Look where it's taking us now.
Yeah, to the Boz Show. Before the Boz Show resumes, we have some football to play. LSU taking on Arizona. Oh, there you go. See, you wanted the graphic. And
see, we're quick here. I love that. That's the way to go.
It's just the beginning. I've seen it before. I won't stop until you're dead, too.
Every man has his breaking point.
We were family. You betrayed us.
But when a man has nothing to lose, he'll put everything on the line.
This is not your lucky day.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Maximum Risk. Sunday, 8 Eastern. Only on TBS Superstation.
Spicy garlic shrimp, fire grilled chicken, and our famous baby back ribs. Chili's Fajita Trio. Want more flavor?
One idea becomes a vision. The vision becomes a company. At LSU, we're helping new companies bring their technologies into the marketplace. From the latest software solutions for first responders to the molding of high-precision micro tools. The Louisiana Business Center at LSU, one of the top 10 technology business incubators in the nation.
It's hard to lose your best friend, especially when it's your son. To go from being the hero to the villain. I've become the snoop, the spy. I pry into his life. He said, "I'll never treat my son like this." And I think, if you love him, you will.
When I first saw it, I thought, whoa, it was so
Slim.
It's huge. Must be
3.5 inches.
I just couldn't believe the size of it.
Just think what I could do with a high-def TV like that.
Just think what I could do with the extra space.
See more with less TV. Experience more with Philips high-def flat TV.
Looks good, huh?
Perfect.
Got to admit, it's getting better.
Spicy garlic shrimp, fire grilled chicken, and our famous baby back ribs. Chili's Fajita Trio. Want more flavor?
Yeah.
College football on TBS, brought to you by the Home Depot. Go from wondering how to knowing how at the Home Depot. You can do it, and we can help. Kia Motors, 7 cars, 1 belief. Kia, make every mile count. Chili's, spicy, boneless, cool. Chili's boneless buffalo wings. And UPS, commerce synchronized. UPS, what can Brown do for you? Welcome back inside the stadium, the third member of our broadcast team again this year, Craig Sager. Craig.
Thanks, Ron. John Mackovic has regained control of the Arizona football program. The core of players who led the revolt and failed attempt to have him fired last November has graduated and moved on. He has not lightened his demands on the practice field or the classroom, but he has softened his tongue. And in an effort to correct one of the painful moments in his career, he has become a nicer person and more understanding coach.
I've been knocked down before, and I've told our team, if you think you're going to have a joyride through life, you won't, and it doesn't matter how high on the mountain you think you are, you can fall. But the nice thing is, I think that our team has said, we're going to get up and rise again, and I said that personally, and we're doing it, and we will do it, and we're going to be a great story for 2003.
Well, John Mackovic, Charles, has a great attitude about what happened. He said, listen, I asked for guys' forgiveness, it's over, and we talked to all the players since Wednesday, and they said the same thing. Hey, it's part of history. John Mackovic in his third year here at Arizona. On the other side, it is Lou Saban. He is an excellent football coach, or Nick Saban, I should say, 51 years old, out of Fairmount, West Virginia. Couple of stints in the National Football League, and he is a good one. Arizona won the toss, deferred. They kicked off with the wind. It's out of the end zone. Nicholas Folk gets every bit of it. And LSU will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the LSU offense, one of the most talented in the country. Led by quarterback Matt Mock, a junior out of Jasper, Indiana, back from that foot injury, and he provides solid leadership, Charles.
And the most important stat is the second one in his 8th career start, but a 6-1 record as a starter. Last year, 5-1 before he got hurt in the Florida game. LSU was 3-4 thereafter.
I'll tell you, that was ironic because Florida was his best game of the year. Joseph Adai, the running back, straight ahead over the right side, able to pick up 4 on the play, going behind that big offensive line. Let's take a look at our U.S. Army of 1 starting lineups for the LSU offense. Running backs and wide receivers, we just saw him. Adai, the sophomore out of Houston, 81 yards last week in game 1. And in the line, talk about consistency. How about 96 starts between them? They are the best in the SEC, led by the new daddy, Stephen Peterman at right guard. He is the Lombardi Award candidate. Fakes, throws it out into the flat, incomplete, got great pressure put on the play as we take a look at that Arizona defense, totally new from last year as they switched to the 3-4 from Mike Hankowitz. The line is young, not that big. Carl Tuitavuki must step up in the middle from that nose tackle spot. Linebacker Joe Ciofele back at his natural position, which is in the middle. And in the secondary, Michael Jolivet back after the knee surgery. That is a very talented secondary. Right now, they will be tested at 3rd down and 7, Charles.
Nice pressure from Carlos Williams on 2nd down, getting in on Matt Mock and forcing the incompletion.
Henderson Green to the near side, Clayton to the far side. High snap, Mock pulls it down, fires over the middle, 1st down. Up over the 35-yard line, Darrell Brooks on the stop. Pickup of 12 on the play. The fans wanted a loose ball, but it wasn't there.
Now you're going to see what all the hype is about. Michael Clayton, strong and physical. Makes the catch, loses the ball, dives right on it. 1st down LSU. When in doubt, Matt Mock will get the ball to Michael Clayton and have him make plays for him.
Well, we saw that Deontay Sherman, that cornerback, was on him. Gary Love didn't dress for the game. The normal starting cornerback, we just got word, he suffered from a couple of sprained ankles. Devery Henderson gets inside Arizona territory, up end of 48, and he looks like he may have taken quite a shot.
And the tackle was low down in the legs area as he got around the corner. Great block downfield on him, great block downfield for him as he turned the corner, getting help from his fellow wide receivers. Just a flare pass out to the wide receiver. Clayton, number 14, inside, makes a block, and then out on the corner, gets another block from number 5, Skylar Green, before the tackle is made by Layman Means, number 19, around the leg knee area. You can only hope Devery Henderson will be okay.
Opelousas, Louisiana. This is a very talented wide receiver corps for the SEC. Some have tabbed them the best in the conference. Pretty hefty accolades for the young men. Keep it on the ground, straight up over the middle, and dive, powering his way over the 45 down to about the 41-yard line. Pickup of about 8 on the play. You know, there's so much question on Adai, the fact that he's 6'2", 205. They were questioning whether he did have the durability.
Well, they'll find that out as the season goes on when he gets the requisite number of carries, so we can tell whether he has durability. But if he continues to get holes such as he just found, chopped like that in the front wall, he won't have to worry about himself.
This is vintage SEC offense. Run, 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 then little pass. They keep it on the ground again. This time it's Tyrone Carey, the junior from New Orleans, originally signed with Tennessee. Pick up 3 on the play.
And it was a wide receiver also.
Fans' telecast is available with Spanish translation via the SAP button on your remote control. Well, impressive first drive here for LSU. Already in Arizona territory. Around to Clayton. Crosses the 40, scrambles over the 35, down to the 33-yard line. Michael Jolivet's the one who took his legs from underneath him. You know, Clayton may be seeing some defense tonight, but the way this heat is right now here, and I know Baton Rouge is humid and everything, but it is hot tonight. He's getting a workout. I don't think we're going to see him a whole lot of defense.
I think they'd like to not play him on defense if they could afford that. They'd like to avoid it if at all possible because they want to get him a number of plays on offense. He also covers on special teams. 3rd and short.
This is where John Makovic wants his defense to improve. They go from the I formation. Over the left side. Close. Adai again, the sophomore out of Houston, Texas, had a great fall camp. Joe Ciofele is the one who made him on the stop, and he did get the first down. Adai, though, came in the best shape he's been in a long time, and that was obviously for Coach Nick Saban something he wanted to see.
Well, he and Tyrone Carey right now are trying to replace 2 excellent backs in Dominic Davis and LeBrandon Tofield, who are both in the NFL right now. And both of them want to be the featured ball carrier. Adai has a little more power in his wallet. So he's going to be the guy who will get the first shot at it, but carries a great change-up back at 5'6" and very shifty.
Wow, another high snap. Keeps it on the ground, the left side. They're just battering that defensive front 4 of Arizona. Now we talk about Tofield and Davis from last year. They were, or Adai and Carey from last season. You can see what they did.
Yeah, I think the key here is that the number of rushes. You talked about durability. That's all they had from last year. We're going to find out this year. he has that question. We'll get that question answered in about 3 games, what they did last year all season long.
Now this time Clayton goes wide to the right on 2nd down and 5. Henderson in the slot, 1 back. Mock keeps it on the ground. This time it's Carey again, nearing the 20-yard line. This is about as methodical of an opening drive as you'll ever see.
This is exactly what LSU wants to do. Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator, we talked with him yesterday, he stressed the need for balance on offense. But when you are as big as LSU is up front and as strong as they are up front, balance isn't really what you want right now. You want to pound away at the smaller defensive front of Arizona, continue to chop holes and backs run.
Another 3rd down. They're 2 for 2 so far on 3rd down tonight.
Coming right at you again.
Adai stacked up as he gets to the 21-yard line.
That'll be close, and I'm going to tell you, LSU is going to be very disappointed in that because on 3rd and short, and as big and as strong as they are, they feel that they should make that every time without it being close.
You can see our first in line by Home Depot, and they're going to have to take a measurement on that.
See the big front moving to the right. Everyone just zone blocking. Adai trying to find a gap. Nice job by the Arizona defensive line. Many guys trying to get in on the tackle. You saw number 90, Carl Tuitavuki, getting the tackle really sharp, but he had plenty of help from a number of guys on his defensive front. It may be small, but Mike Hankwitz has him being very active, what they call one-gappers, trying to fill the holes.
Now you see what they made the first down by. Nick Saban's squad continues to march down the field. This drive started out after the opening kickoff, and this Arizona defense, as we talked about, Mike Hankwitz won a national title as a defensive coordinator at Colorado in the 90s. Went to this 3-4 from the double eagle flex, which was a mainstay here at Arizona. Problem is he lost about 5 players that he thought would play this year prior to practice.
And keep an eye out here for a little play action last year. They did almost 7 yards of crap on the first down. Be a good time to throw it. And of course, I'm wrong.
That's why you're up with me. Be over the left side. How about this area? As you see Mike Hankwitz, and what a job he did for R.C. Slocum down at Texas A&M with that improved defense. This man is about as good as you can get as a defensive coordinator. He understands, but he didn't complain when he said we lost these 5 guys. He said, no, we just move people around.
And that's what a good coach does, because you can't lament about who's not there. You have to play with who is there and give those kids confidence on the field.
2nd and 7. They're the only one in the backfield. Henderson running around. Mock looking in the flat, pass thrown, and it is caught by Michael Clayton down at the 3-yard line. That's why we call him one of the best in the conference. Michael Clayton, watch this.
Watch Clayton. He's just run to the flag, just breaks it outside. And I thought that Layman Means, number 19, had an excellent chance to knock down the ball. But Matt Mock, who has worked on his arm strength, nice zip on the ball, threw it low and away, because he knows that number 14 will catch nearly everything he puts in the air.
Pick up with 16 on the play. We want to thank Allstate for providing to goalpost Cam. You're in good hands with Allstate. Straight ahead running. Do we get the signal from the official? The players are giving it to us.
I think it's going to be just head short.
Yeah, I think Adai just couldn't get in that extra yard. That would have been his first rushing touchdown of the year.
I'm thinking right now that this is 4-down territory for LSU. This is not field goal time. The 2nd and goal, the ball's inside the 1. I think Nick Saban is going to say we're taking 4 cracks at if we need them, because there's no sense making this long march and coming away with it trying the field goal.
Couple of tight ends, I formation for the Tigers. Up over the top, touchdown LSU. Joe Cioli tried to make the initial hit, but that surge by that offensive line was enough for the score.
Remember, the only thing that needs to cross the plane of the goal line is the ball. As it crosses the plane, it's a touchdown. It's a close call and a nice hit by Ciofele and the rest of his Arizona Wildcat teammates. But the initial goes on the board for LSU.
6.5-minute drive, just about. LSU on top, 6-0.
Can you say textbook?
Oh, brother. Kicking into a very stiff one. The extra point is good. O'Day with the extra one, and LSU, courtesy of this touchdown by O'Day, leads 7-0.
The Home Depot is more than a store. It's the only place to find all the great brands. Everything from GE to Thomasville. Names you know that will give your home the look you've always known. To beautify any bath or kitchen, consider the sophistication of Moen faucets. Their large assortment of designs can add style and quality to your home. Only one place has these distinctive styles from Moen, as well as helpful advice and guaranteed everyday low prices. The Home Depot. You can do it. We can.
Does it get any better than this? It just got better.
it's going to be different. I'm him again. This is the fight I want. Your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. Shane, better be ready.
De La Hoya Mosley 2 Redemption. Saturday, September 13th, live on in-demand pay-per-view.
Get your ringside seat for De La Hoya versus Mosley 2 at home on Cox Cable.
Believe I will get you. You're still the same to me.
Joseph Adai with his first rushing touchdown of the year gives LSU the 7-0 lead. And also joining us this year, like last season, Aaron Andrews. Aaron?
Hey, Ron. Well, you know, a lot of people may think that Coach Mack of the rant and raver, he's actually the opposite. He likes to pump up his team by using motivational quotes from history and from literature. Well, guys, today before the team left the hotel, he used a quote from Hall of Famer Woody Hayes. The quote is, "It's never an upset if the so-called underdog has all along considered itself the better team." Ron and Charles, we'll see how the Wildcats respond.
And exactly. John looked a lot more relaxed than he has in the last couple of months, the last few days of it.
Yeah, that stuff, I mean, that quote there that Aaron gave us, I mean, Woody Hayes never let his team go into a game feeling like they were the underdog. And John Mackovic obviously taking a page from his book.
Step-toe on the receiving end, gets over the 20, up to the 22-yard line. If we take a look at the Arizona offense, last in running in the NCAA last year, they focused on that. They're going to two quarterbacks tonight, Ryan O'Hara and Nick Costa. Costa gets the start. But, Charles, these two players have totally different styles.
Yeah, what we're going to see out of Nick Costa is that he's a guy utilize his legs to get himself out of trouble a lot more than Ryan O'Hara will. Nick Costa won the 100-meter dash in high school in Portland, Oregon, the state of Oregon. So this guy can use his arm and his legs, and we saw that last week in UTEP on film.
5'11" out of Aloha, Oregon, as mentioned, but he is a thick young man. They try to keep an eye on Mike Bell, the talented sophomore, stopped by Marcus Spears. Take a look at the rest of that Arizona offense, the running backs and wide receivers. Lots of play action tonight. Look for tight end Steve Fleming to be very much a part of this offense. One of the best in the Pac-10. The line, they came in rededicated this year to the run game. They're led 6'8" tackle Brandon Phillips.
And dare we say he looked svelte to us at 330 pounds. He's that put together. That's a big old guy who looks great.
His first pass is tipped, knocked down. Spears got a piece of it. The LSU defense, now this Nick Saban has a couple of question marks. The line is their strength. Marquise Hill, he's rushing better than ever. He is a dandy. In the linebacker spot, coaches want Lionel Turner to be more vocal and to be more consistent. And in the secondary, Corey Webster, 7 interceptions last year. That led the conference. But Nick Saban seems 100% sold last night when we talked to him about his defense.
He wants him to be meaner and nastier, but they just have to play together a little bit more to develop that attitude.
3rd down and 12 for Costa. The southpaw scrambling, throwing this one up for grabs, out of bounds, incomplete. Last week, Costa led them on their first 2 drives that were 80 yards for touchdowns. This week they lost 2 yards on their opening drive.
But good play by Costa despite getting clocked as he got rid of the ball by Chad Lavallee, the all-SEC defensive tackle. Why? Because he got rid of the ball down, didn't take a sack, didn't turn it over. This allows Arizona to punt the ball away and try and come out and have a better defensive series.
Arizona will use a couple of punters. Danny Bogger, the sophomore out of Phoenix, he'll start the game. Tyrone Carey is back to receive it on his own 35-yard line, kicking with the wind.
Good return ball.
Line drive from the 36. Carey right up the middle. Got some running room. Finally knocked out by Bogger at the 29-yard line. 44 yards on the kick, 35 on the return.
Not what John Mackovic's looking for in terms of the punt game. If you're going to punt it downfield, you have to get it up in the air and get some hang time. Otherwise, a guy like Tyrone Carey will make you pay, as he just did. A low-line drive just gives him a chance to catch it on the run and on the move.
And, you know, when you play a team like LSU, they're number 13 in the country, well-deserved ranking. Now they're the favorite in the SEC West. Your margin of error against them is very slim.
Very slim.
You can't have breakdowns like they just had.
No, and here's another thing to consider. LSU's return game has been so good because of Dominic Davis the last few years. You know, if you ask the LSU coaches, they say we hardly ever called for a pump block because we want him to get his hands on the ball and return it because he was so dynamic. So they've had plenty of work at that over the last few years, and Tyrone Carey appears to be the same type of return man.
You know, talking to Matt Mock and the players last night, They lost 3 of their last 5 games last year. Very disappointing ending, but they have played in 2 straight New Year's Bowl games. First time since 65-66. But these guys last night talking to them about how Auburn have fared so far this year, they've got their sights set on going back to the SEC championship.
And they didn't want to hear anything about Auburn or anyone else. All they said was Arizona, because we lose to them. That helps derail us from our goals.
Regular position from Arizona's 29-yard line. Mock seeing some pressure. Scrambling, still on his feet. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and even picks up a couple of yards before being tripped up by Patrick Howard, the junior out of Lamarck, Texas.
Great pressure by Paul Phillip, number 90 from Arizona. He flushed Matt Mock from the pocket. And just think, wait till Matt Mock's foot actually becomes 100%. He's a guy who had 2 screws in his foot from the injury last year, had him taken out in the spring, and he told us yesterday it cracks when he walks. And he has a little bit of pain, but he said that'll last about a year. But he's still able to be nifty enough pocket to gain 2 yards.
Well, his line was, I'm not going to sneak up on anybody because you can hear me creaking. Pick up a 1 second. Throwing it out into the flat to Henderson. Gets close to the 20-yard line, down to the 21-yard line. Louis Nunez on the stop. SI.com is your source for scores and breaking sports news. And one of the things, Mock came back like it, and everybody you talked to said that the fact that he wasn't allowed to do a whole lot during the spring was a good thing because he learned how to stay in the pocket instead of scrambling. The coach's biggest concern is of Matt Mock pressing too much.
Yeah, they just said, just relax, Matt, because he's such a conscientious player. They don't want to put too much pressure on him. Pretty short. LSU can run it or pass it, and then the shotgun out of the shotgun formation.
Henderson in motion with perfect on 3rd down so far. Mock, they're trying to wrap him up, and they finally do back at the 30-yard line. Copeland Bryan, the sophomore out of San Jose, California, gets a little help. Patrick Howard, and Bryan gets his first sack of the year.
Take a look at Copeland Bryan, the former walk-on, from the top of your screen. Coming right at you. No one picks him up. Mike Hankwitz called a blitz on the play and overloaded LSU's offensive line. Copeland Bryan did a great job getting to Matt Mock, forcing a field attempt by LSU. Actually, a very good stand by Arizona considering the field position.
Ryan Godet, 37-yarder, and he splits the upright, 47 yards. And LSU makes good use of the excellent field position. They're up 10-0. We're still in the first.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Newman. Every weekday, get your fix of the 2 best shows on television.
Don't you think the cowboy hat's a little much?
Come on, it's fun.
Doubled up and back to back.
How many sessions did my parents pay for?
Not enough to make a man of you, Daffodil.
Don't miss an hour of Seinfeld, followed by Friends. Weekdays starting at 6:30 Eastern on TBS Superstation.
Serenity now!
The Kia Sorento just received the government's highest safety rating and was voted #1 in quality. Safety and quality. There's really nothing left for us to say. Except, it is the only SUV with a standard V6 engine, front and side curtain airbags, and a 10-year warranty, all for thousands less than Highlander. Okay, that's what I say.
Life got simple the day I plugged into the big brown machine. West Coast overnight, done. China, 48 hours, done. Brown picks it all up together and delivers it all on time. And with their global tracking system, I get the proof. It isn't that I'm not a trusting person. Yes, it is.
International Overnight Ground. Synchronized. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
John Mackovic knew this would be a difficult game, and he's finding out in the early going as he's already down 10-0. But let's go back to that quote that Aaron Andrews had a few minutes ago. You have some thoughts about that, Charles.
Yeah, Woody Hayes said, you know, if you don't think of yourself as an underdog, it's not really an upset. And that's the part of the new attitude that's Arizona this year. Whereas last year, after that great return by Chiron Carey, I think LSU would have marched right in and scored on last year's Arizona team. Instead, this year, they bowed their necks, got after it, and held them to a field goal, which I think was big for Arizona's defense. Now it's up to Arizona's offense to get something started.
But you still have to wonder why LSU just didn't with that big offensive line just try to bang it in on the running game.
Yeah, 3rd and short. I was surprised they went to the air on that.
Jackson kicks it 5 yards deep. Cedric Steptoe will just put the knee down. Our next telecast will be next Saturday, 10 o'clock Eastern time on TBS. The Oregon Ducks take on the Arizona Wildcats. We will be right here. Oregon a winner today. Conference game early going.
Yeah, very early for these two teams.
But are you bringing your sunglasses for Oregon's uniform?
We're going to have to. We'll see if they break out the lightning yellow that we keep hearing all about. And then what Mike Bellotti says all the kids love, so we'll see.
I haven't heard if Mike likes it yet, though. We'll ask him next week.
Mike said it doesn't matter if he likes it or not, just as long as they play well in it. Huge series, Ron, for Arizona. Huge series.
Opening series for Arizona, -2 yards. Lance Relford on the near side. Costa 5-step drop. Fires into the flat. Pass is complete. Excellent coverage again for LSU by Jack Hunt, the safety.
It was a great play by Jack Hunt because he's playing strong safety and he never gave ground on the route. He read it early, read the short route with another route hooking close to him and was able to break on the football and was right there when we got to the intended receiver, Gilbert Harris, the fullback.
2nd down and 10. 5 plays now for the Arizona offense, -2 total yards. Mike Bell looking for any kind of running room, but he's going to lose a couple. Jack Hunt again on the stop. But Ernie and Boz.
All right, thank you very much, Ron. You know, the 2nd-ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State had a little fight on their hands today with San Diego State, but the defense came to the rescue, Boss.
Yes, they did. San Diego actually played Ohio State very tough. This was actually the Ohio State lone offensive highlight of the game, 100-yard interception return. With that, San Diego State wins this game.
That's Will Allen going the distance in Ohio State. 16 straight wins and another tight one, 16-13. Ooh.
Yeah, Chris Gamble was the guy who made the play, number 7, who actually plays offense and for Ohio State, so how fair.
And we have a timeout called by LSU as Arizona's facing a 3rd down and 10. Nick Saban and company up 10-0.
Hits come from all sides, man. You gotta see the whole field, the whole time. Peripheral vision. That's the key.
Rated E for everyone.
With this computer, you can even edit and burn home movies on DVD.
That'll be great for the stuff we'll shoot on vacation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, where are you going? Rafting.
That's it, Larry. Good job, buddy.
Where's Bo?
Did I mention you can edit stuff out? That'd be good.
Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. Best Buy.
Arizona Athletics succeeding on and off playing field. The Wildcats have won 16 national team championships and 101 individual championships. In 2002, hard work led to 34% of Arizona student athletes to earn a 3.0 GPA or higher. Arizona student athletes make a difference in the Tucson community by reaching 40,000 young people through appearance and public speaking engagements. Arizona Athletics, leading the way in education, athletics, and community service.
5:10 left in the first quarter. LSU leading Arizona 10-0. We talked about Michael Clayton. Would he play some defense? He did in the Cotton Bowl against Texas. Just said he got tired, but he is on the defensive side of the ball now.
And they started that move with him to defense last year midway through the season. Hard to get your conditioning up when the season's going on. This year he knew he was going to play in all the base defenses, so his conditioning is that much better.
Well, it's 3rd down and 10. And last Arizona just 38% on 3rd down. Last week they were 8 of 16, but they're facing a very fast LSU defense. Here comes the blitz. Costa trying to get away from it. He loses the football. Still loose. Let's see what the officials say. LSU's got it. Lionel Turner from the middle linebacker spot forced the fumble. Kirsten Pittman is the man who recovered it, the true freshman out of reserve out in Louisiana.
LSU showed a nickel package with 5 defensive backs and came with the blitz. Turner forces the fumble, Great job by Kirsten Pittman, the true freshman, who's a great speed rusher, getting to the football, giving LSU great field position. The evolution of a quarterback begins for Nick Costa. Take the sack, protect the ball, punt it away. He tried to flush out of the pocket and get away with his legs. They knock it free. LSU's in business.
And they have great field position. Ball is on the 9-yard line. Straight ahead running, and this time the Arizona defense holds him to about a 3-yard gain. Joseph Adai again on the carry, just banging on that left side. Copeland Bryant coming up from that linebackers make the stop. Now, you mentioned Copeland Bryant. Last year was a walkout, got a scholarship at the end of last season from San Jose, California. What an articulate young man. Originally, like aerospace engineering, he says,
Yes.
I decided to go poli-sci.
Yeah, this is a young man. After talking to him yesterday, he can do whatever he wants.
Pickup of 1 on the play. 2nd and 8, Mock on the option. Pitches it back. Adai, touchdown LSU. Joe Adai's 2nd rushing touchdown. You can see John Makovic telling Mr. Costa, listen, you got to hold on to the ball. That is your fault.
Ball security turned into 6, possibly 7 points here, and he gave it up deep in his own territory.
And John Makovic obviously not pleased with his offense so far. They find themselves down 17-0.
Life got simple the day I plugged into the big brown machine. Rest overnight, done. China, 48 hours, done. Brown picks it all up together and delivers it all on time. And with their global tracking system, I get the proof. It isn't that I'm not a trusting person. Yes, it is.
International Overnight Brown, synchronized. UPS, what can Brown do for you?
The Kia Sorento just received the government's highest safety rating and was voted #1 in quality. Safety and quality. There's really nothing left for us to say. Except, it is the only SUV with a standard V6 engine, front and side curtain airbags, and a 10-year warranty, all for thousands less than Highlander. Okay, that's all we're gonna say.
One stage of your journey is over. Another begins.
Now on DVD and VHS. Return to the legend. Return to the journey. Return to the adventure. The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Now available.
Joseph Adai, 4 rushing touchdowns last year. He's got 2 tonight, and number 13 LSU, very impressive on the offensive side of the football. They lead it 17-0.
Defense pitching in pretty well for them. All stuffed them on the first drive, forced the turnover deep for the second one.
Jackson showing his leg, kicking into a stiff wind. Again, it's 5 yards deep, and again, Steptoe takes a knee. Why was that so easy for LSU to score on it?
Well, they got them on formation. 2 receivers to the wide side of the field, so you had to put the formation there. They take the tight end and run him downfield, and then they option this guy right there, the defensive end. Watch Matt Mock now as he comes down the line. All he's doing is reading the end. If the end goes upfield, he keeps it. If he comes to him, he pitches it, and then you see the block downfield by the tight end who just went free. Touchdown on the defensive back.
And you know, we yesterday the players and coaches of Arizona saying how important is it to at least do something in that first quarter, and every person said it's essential. Right now, minus 10 yards total offense. Costa hangs on the left side. Clarence Farmer picks up a couple. Let's send it down to Craig Sager. More of LSU.
Around the whole turning point in that last scoring drive from LSU, according to the coaching staff, came on the 3rd and 10 when they called the timeout. Nick Saban, obviously a great defensive mind, and defensive coordinator Bill Muschamp. They noted that they had the wrong defense out there for the down and distance. They called the timeout immediately, put in the 5 defensive backs, got the fumble recovery, and a little celebration went on coaching sideline even before they converted the touchdown.
A great pickup on that one, Craig, because we were up here in the booth noticing they wanted to keep them pinned in that end of the field. Didn't want to give up a big play because they didn't have the proper personnel on the field.
Costa straight drop, has some time, throws high, incomplete. Just not connecting with Byron Ely. Ronnie Prude on the coverage. You know, you talk about Will Muschamp. We heard Craig talking about it. He's the defensive coordinator for LSU, former Georgia player. But this is the same system that Saban had, I think, at Cleveland, at Michigan State. I mean, this is the system that works, and he's sticking to it.
Remember, he's worked under some great defensive minds. Saban has. Bill Belichick in Cleveland. You know, he worked in Houston and got a little Buddy Ryan stuff. He's worked in a lot of places where he's pulled it all together to make it his system. And then Will Muschamp is really executing it well tonight with those defensive players.
Costa has to step up. Here is where he is. Runs a 10-400, gets up to the 25 to the 28-yard line. Ronnie Prude hog ties him, rolls him down. He'll be short of the first down. Needed 7. Picked up about 5 on the play.
So John Malkovich taking a look. He's going to have to kick the ball away. I can't imagine that they'll go for it here this deep in their territory.
But at least they got some positive yards.
Exactly. What he had to like on that one was when Nick Costa flushed from the pocket, he didn't try and take it all the way outside. He did what Mike Deal, the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach, told us yesterday. We will protect the inside part of the pocket. That's where you flush. And that's what he did that time, gained 7 yards on the play.
Don't carry, standing on his 32. Barger to kick it away again. Not a good kick. Turns over at the 38-yard line. This time, Carey's going to be wrapped up and maybe picked up about a half a yard. Want to see the best in Major League action? Tune into the TBS tomorrow afternoon as the Braves take on the Pirates. Major League Baseball's best is on TBS tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. The Pirates will be the spoilers in the National League this year. How about my boy McClendon?
You know, I like the days when the Pirates were on top of that division.
I did
battling
too.
The Braves in the playoffs. Did they put on a great playoff?
Yes, they did.
I mean, that's one of those highlights you'll see forever, not just on TBS, but everywhere.
The running of Sid Bream.
Sid Bream. Who would ever thought? Sid Bream. Sid Fleet-of-Foot Bream.
LSU another good field position for them from their own 43-yard line. This time Adai tries the right side. Again, they are just assaulting that front 4 of Arizona.
And this is where, as an offensive play caller, Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator for LSU, is fighting a battle with himself. He has great weapons outside. Devery Henderson. He has Michael Clayton. Look there. There's Jimbo Fisher. Right there. Nope, I say take that back. I've got Jimbo confused. My fault. There's Jimbo right there.
Down the end.
Yeah, he's moving right there, even on me. I got to keep up with it.
This time Mock is going to be dropped. Coming up from that strong safety spot, Layman Means, the sophomore out of Galena Park, Texas. This is an impact player making an impact play.
And this is what I was talking about with Jimbo Fisher fighting the battle with himself. They're running the ball so well that, you know, he still wants to get the ball outside to the wide receiver. So on a first down play, because the focus has been running the ball on first down, he takes a shot downfield. Mike Hankwitz guesses correctly, sends the blitz with the strong safety, and Layman Means gets to Matt Mock.
That's the second sack by this Arizona defense tonight. Loss of 7 on the play. Mock will put it up again, looking for the screen off to the side. Arizona's right there. Joe Adai wrapped up quickly on the play. Andre Torrey on the stop.
Excellent play by the outside linebacker. 3 receivers to the field. They come back screen to the short side. Andre Torrey had upfield rush, recognized the play, and was able to get back inside and make the tackle.
And our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Home Depot. You can always look and see that orange line, see where they're supposed to be. Loss of 1 on the play, 3rd down and 18. Best defensive series for Arizona. 3 wide receivers to the left for the Tigers.
Arizona has been getting good pressure on Matt Mock when he's taking a 5-step drop.
Looking deep in the flat, has a man at the 38-yard line, and is Michael Clayton. They're going to mark it at about the 35-yard line, and that'll be good enough for a first down. Not only was that a good throw, 21 on the pickup, but what a great pattern run by Clayton.
Great pattern run by Clayton, but one of the reasons they had an opportunity was Arizona only rushed 4 on that play. Rush 4, drop 7 into the secondary, trying to cover up all the holes. But when Matt Mock has that much time, someone's bound to come free. And you definitely don't want number 14 running free in your secondary.
Third catch for Clayton already tonight. By the way, this is an offensive line that last year only allowed 16 sacks. That was a league low. Keeping it on the ground with Carey. Over the 30, down to the 27-yard line. Nunez coming up from that cornerback spot. The junior out of San Diego, California. You know, we met just briefly, and I think we have to touch on it, just how in a hole Mike Hankiewicz was when he came here as defensive coordinator. He was looking at film back in July and thought, boy, this guy's good. This guy's great. This guy's good. Then they find out because of academic problems and whatever,
Mormon missions. Spencer Larson, a linebacker's on a Mormon mission. Vince Feula, who was supposed to be the starting nose guard, gone for academics. Brad Britton left for undisclosed reasons. All those guys were projected into their 2D, probably to be starters. He doesn't have them.
Anderson in motion, but they keep it on the ground with Carey. Picking up good yardage, another first down as we near the end of quarter number 1. A quarter in which a mistake by Arizona cost them 7. And the LSU offense just manhandling right now the Arizona Wildcats. And we're just going to wait for it to go down, and that's it. End of the quarter, Nick Saban's troops up 17-0 as we head to quarter number 2. Still plenty of time left in this game.
With new Odor Eaters Plus. Odor Eaters Plus is the only insole with podiatric arch support plus protection on demand against odor and wetness.
Jump for joy, new Odor Eaters Plus.
When I first saw it, I thought, whoa, it was so
slim.
It's huge. Must be
3.5 inches.
I just couldn't believe the size of it.
Just think what I could do with a high-def TV like that.
Just think what I could do with the extra space.
See more with less TV. Experience more with Philips High-Def Flat TV.
Looks good, huh?
Perfect.
Got to admit, it's getting better, a little better. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
If you're driving around with worn-out brake pads on your car, that's dangerous. Get to AutoZone for a new set of brakes today. Get in the zone.
AutoZone.
Folks know great barbecue when they taste it. After all, it's a Southern tradition. And nobody knows more about that tradition than Podna's Barbecue. Now you can enjoy the savory taste of Podna's anytime or anywhere. Just call their catering hotline to have delicious Podna's Barbecue delivered directly to your business or special event. From small investment firms to large power plants and job sites. No group is too small, no event is too big, and travel is never a problem. Podna's Barbecue. It just doesn't get any better than this.
Our store, Landry's Pharmacy, has been in Gonzales now for 51 years. Landry's Pharmacy in the past 6 months has just hired 2 new pharmacists, 2 new technicians, and our main goal here is to satisfy the patient when he comes in. They want quick service, but they want professional service. We see the grandkids of the people my dad took care of in the 40s and 50s and 60s now, and they just know they can depend on us. They can call on us at night. They relate to us, we relate to them. Landry's in Gonzales. We grew up together.
Welcome back to college football on TBS, part of Big PlayStation Saturday. As we get set to start the second quarter, right now LSU out on top, 17-0. Along with Charles Davis, Aaron Andrews, and Craig Sager, I'm Ron Doolin, welcoming you to Arizona Stadium on a balmy Tucson night here in the desert. LSU has been excellent on offense so far this evening. First and 10, ball's on the Arizona 21-yard line. Will run the option back to Carey. Cuts inside down to the 10-yard line. You know, Aaron, we talked about Big Steve Peterman, the right guard for LSU. He is a proud papa, though, isn't he?
He certainly is. He hasn't missed a beat so far this season, even though he may not be getting as much sleep. He and his wife, Colleen, gave birth, well, actually, Colleen gave birth to a 6-pound, 10-ounce baby boy, Steven Peterson. That was on August 26th. Steven told us about the delivery yesterday. He said, he has never been so nervous in his life, not even at a football game. He watched everything. Guys, he even cut the cord And we hear that Stephen Jr. is going to be a pretty big boy. Already holding his head up, guys.
Yeah, he's just about a week old, 6 pounds, 10 ounces. But Stephen kept telling us he's 20 inches long.
Yeah,
20 inches long.
He's going to fill out. And I think Dad already has him bench pressing his rattle. and, you know, it's a great story. And to top it off, Aaron, his offensive line, who he's so close to,
right.
They all asked Nick Saban if they can miss practice to be there for the birth also. And Nick laughed and said, I'm glad that you guys are so close, but there's no way you're missing practice, okay?
That's right. How about Shaq? Wasn't he 6 pounds, 10 ounces?
Exactly.
By the way, a big blow for Arizona defense. Copeland Bryan is out of the game with a concussion. That is not what Blake Hankwitz wants to see. Mock will run the option. Nice ball fake. Inside. Touchdown, LSU. 4-yard touchdown run for quarterback Matt Mock. His first rushing touchdown of the year.
Third time they missed play tonight. Twice for touchdowns. The other for a nice game with Chiron Carey. If it worked once, if it works twice, why not a third time? Matt Mock kept it that time because the end went to the running back, turked it inside for the touchdown.
Well, this is the LSU story. They brought over 6,000 fans, and they're enjoying a minute of this one.
Spicy garlic shrimp, fire grilled chicken, and our famous baby back ribs. Chili's Fajita Trio. Want more flavor?
The Home Depot is more than a store. It's a classroom where the know-how is free and the homework is fun. It's how to build something, or paint something, or plant something. A place that can take you from wondering how to knowing how. And the guaranteed low price every day to make every dollar work. The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Vin Diesel is now on DVD in one of the most adrenaline-driven, never-before-seen DVDs you won't want to miss. Vin Diesel is a man apart. Bring home the action today.
Sensitive teeth? Why aren't you using Sensodyne?
I want whitening.
Sensodyne stops the pain, but it doesn't stop there.
I want tardicle.
Whatever you want from a toothpaste, there's a Sensodyne for you. Stop the pain of sensitive teeth and more. Sensodyne.
Just what I want.
Spicy garlic shrimp, fire grilled chicken, and our famous baby back ribs. Chili's Fajita Trio. Want more flavor?
Yeah.
With nearly 7,000 LSU fans here in Arizona, Louisiana 1,300 miles away, there are more people from Louisiana in this game that live in 321 cities in Louisiana. That tells you how rabid the fans are. Matt Mock, excellent drive. And they started coming in Wednesday with us.
Yeah, I think they were all, there was a whole lot of them on my plane.
There's a whole lot of them in our hotel.
And that was just on Wednesday. People love their Tigers.
Well, Arizona's got to do something. From the 8-yard line, Steptoe. First return's got some room. Slowed down as he crossed the 35 up to the 38-yard line. The first bright spot for Arizona today.
Great way to get things started. Use your special teams. Cindric Steptoe, a true freshman with a lot of speed, got into the gap, and now they actually have decent field position for the first time.
Nick Costa will stay in at quarterback, 31 yards on the return. We talked to John McAdoo yesterday. He calls the plays. He doesn't script them. He likes to get into a rhythm, but he is over it now.
And I don't think that's all because of the play calls. I think it's just that LSU is overwhelming his offensive front, and they can't get anything established right now.
Mike Bell, the only one in the backfield for Arizona. We've got some movement.
An LSU defensive player jump. I don't know if an offensive player flinched when that happened, caused an illegal procedure.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Jack Wood, our referee, John Makovic listening in. And right now, you're in a position, you're getting your lunch handed to you, 24-0, you're only in the second quarter. You're not going to get a 24-point play. So John Makovic has to make sure that they maintain their composure at this point.
I mean, look at the time of possession, 13:02 to 3:13, telling the big story right now because of LSU's ground game.
Relford in motion on 1st and 15. Looking, throwing, fires it. It was there and it was dropped. Let's go to Ernie Johnson and Boz in our studios.
All right, thank you very much, Ron. Once upon a time, Maryland led this game 10-0 against FSU, but then Chris Ricks and the Seminoles took over to win 35-10. Ricks 16 out of 29, 40 yards and a couple of scores. FSU's never lost to Maryland. They're 14-0 all time now, Ron.
All right, Ernie. Right now we've got 2nd down and 15. Ball on the 34-yard line for Arizona. No fall to Costa on that play.
No, and when things aren't going well, everyone has to step up and make a play. Opportunity presents themselves. Byron Ely needed to catch that last pass.
Bell going speed over the 50 down to about the 49-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down. Corey Webster on the stop. That's the first real positive gain from an offensive play they've had tonight.
And fortunately for Arizona, 2 out of the last 3 plays, if you count the kickoff return, have been positive. Mike Bell getting to the corner before Corey Webster runs him down, but not until he gets the first down.
This Arizona team is not a bad offensive team. We can't forget that.
They weren't bad last year. They just had no balance, couldn't run the football, had to throw it all the time, so they had big production in the air. But because they couldn't run it, teams could look and get after the quarterback. They sacked Arizona quarterbacks 52 times last year.
Costa on a 3-step drop, throws it on the flat pass intended for Byron Ely, incomplete. Corey Webster on the coverage.
You know what I'm noticing now, partner? Is that John Makovic is calling he and Mike Deal, the offensive coordinator, and there's Mike. They've gone to max protection to try and give Nick Costa an opportunity to have time to throw the football. What I mean by max protection, keeping the tight end in to make sure he stays in and blocks. Both backs staying in also, and then he's only running 2 receiver patterns. Steve Fleming, number 87, has made some nice blocks staying in and helping out, give him an opportunity.
Costa's going to call the timeout. Has yet to complete a pass tonight. We saw Mike Deal. He's got a little NFL experience, and now he'd like some NFL kind of players out there to help him out. They trailed 24-0.
This is just the beginning. I've seen it before. I won't stop until you're dead, too.
Every man has his breaking point.
We were family. You betrayed us.
But when a man has nothing to lose, he'll put everything on the line.
This is not your lucky day.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Maximum Risk. Sunday, 8 Eastern. Only on TBS Superstation.
An American soldier serves more than his army. He's a selfless defender of our rights and freedoms. He is proof that one soldier can and does make a difference. Sergeant C.J. Overway, and I've won.
Log on to GoArmy.com.
Let's say this is you. Yeah, you're the king. But being the king isn't always easy. So, when you're with Allstate, you'll have over 50,000 professionals to help protect you. From claims adjusters who can help you fix a broken castle, to emergency assistants to ride to your rescue, to lawyers that go to court with you if you need them. And your Allstate who knows the moves to help you. Helping you, the king, feel protected. Just one more way, you're in good hands with Allstate.
John Makovic 7-1 outside the Pac-10 while at Arizona, but he's dug himself in a big hole right now. Costa keeps it, tripped up. I think he just tripped over an LSU leg.
I think he tripped over his own guy.
Could have been Mike Bell,
I think it was Reggie Sampay, number 75, his offensive guard, blocking on the play. He was blocking Bryce Wyatt, number 92, the defensive tackle for LSU. Take a look here as he comes up into the hole. Watch the middle of the field. Has to go. See right there. See where he tripped? Right over his own guy's foot. And that's what knocked him down. Reggie Sampay just doing his job. Nice block on Bryce Wyatt. But unfortunately, he tripped his quarterback.
3rd down now for Nick Costa, the sophomore out of Aloha, Oregon. 0 for 3 tonight. Yet to complete a pass. Keep it on the ground. Bell shaking and baking. Gets down to about the 48-yard line. Marquise Hill, the junior out of New Orleans, on the stop. And once again, they'll be forced to kick it away, this time into the wind. So it looked like they were starting to get something going offensively, but then it came to an abrupt halt.
And they've changed punters also. Mauger punted the first couple, and now James Molina is in the game. But John McAvick, that's not unusual. He always talks about having a bullpen with these two punters, and he'll try and go to the guy that he hopes will give him a better effort.
Carries down the 10. Molina, a high kick, but it's going to be short, and it'll head out of bounds. I think they'll mark it inside the 20. Let's see where they finally stop, and they do right at the 20. College football on TBS, brought by the United States Army, an army of one. And Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. Now kicking into the wind, he got it down to the 20, but that's where LSU is going to take over again. Still a lot of time left in quarter number 2, 11:43 to be exact.
Again, if you're Jimbo Fisher, you've got great talent on the outside, but boy, your offensive line is really moving the line of scrimmage. Do you just continue to hand it off to the backs, or do you try and make a big play over the top?
Go with good got you there so far. Mock throws it out of the flat to Clayton. He's hit immediately, but not where he gets to the 29-yard line. Pick up about 9 on the play. One of the things the coaches of LSU were telling us a lot yesterday, they kept talking about intensity. We've got to match Arizona's intensity. I don't think they matched it. I think they've exceeded it so far.
Yeah, can we give them an A+ for that? Because we talked about that at the top. They have to meet the emotion that Arizona was going to bring, and they have more than accomplished that task.
Second down is short. Arizona's showing blitz, they do, but Adai gets the first down. Hold the 30 up to about the 32-yard line, pick up a 4 on the play.
Like what Jimbo Fisher did on these two plays, you know, instead of getting greedy and trying to get it really deep downfield, because the temptation's always there when you have speed on the corners. You know, on the perimeter with Devery Henderson and Michael Clayton. Nice out route to Clayton. Give Matt Mock a chance to complete a pass on just a simple 3-step drop, and then come back and pick up the first down on second and short.
You know, we talked about the rhythm John McAvick isn't in. I think Jimbo Fisher is in that rhythm. Mock, straight drop, has a man into the flat at the 35-yard line. Pass is complete. Justin Vincent, the redshirt freshman. Cross 40 up to about the 45-yard line. Vincent out of Lake Charles, Louisiana, parade All-American.
Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
I was going to say, great story. Here's a young man that back in spring, they thought he might be a defensive back.
Yeah, and he wanted to be a running back. And he's a guy out of Lake Charles. He's the only player in his high school history at Barb High School, which is a tremendous high school for football. He rushed for 1,000 yards 3 years in a row. That's pretty incredible considering the talent that's come out of that high school.
Another first down for the Tigers. Walk gives it off carry, left side, gets in Arizona territory again. Inside of 10 minutes left to play here in the opening half.
I'm struck by something John McAvick and Mike Hankman's told us when we met with him. The head coach and defensive coordinator of Arizona in the UTEP game, they thought they had an opportunity to really make 5 interceptions. They came away with 1. They said that they were around the ball a lot tonight, but they still missed tackles.
That's right.
Tonight, the same thing is happening in a sense. They're around the ball, but they're not making the play. The interception part, no, but they are rallying around the football. They're just not getting guys down on the initial contact.
Second down and 4. Mock throws it into the flat, complete. Clayton's got some running room. Say goodbye to Michael Clayton. Clayton for the touchdown.
The key for pass that Michael Clayton eluded the tackle by number 13, Louis Nunez. Watch number 13. He has a chance to put him down. He misses when he comes over, and then Clayton's off to the races. This is what LSU loves about their physical, fast receiver. Get him the ball on a short route, he tends to turn it into longer gains.
Extra point is good. Last week, Clayton 152 yards receiving. 105 of those yards came after the first contact from the defender. Does it again tonight.
Got it?
No! That's disgusting. You're gonna make a stop, use the right form. Stay low, use your shoulder, pump your legs.
True.
Derek Brooks with us.
Rated E for everyone.
A great land, destined to become a great nation, built on ingenuity and sheer will, strengthened by new ideas, new technologies, and powered by the 48,000 men and women of Union Pacific, providing the building blocks of our nation.
Baby, I got everything. I got a little desk so there's no homework in front of the TV, a computer, and I'm all over the school supplies. Look, I got pencils, notebooks, binders, calculator, even stretchy book covers. We are so set for school.
Want to get your kids off to a great start? The only place you need to go is Office Depot. Low prices every day. Because the earlier you start, the better prepared your kids will be.
Michael Clayton's third receiving touchdown of the year. It covered 48 yards, and LSU, number 13 in the country, showing us why. Lead 31-0. 9.5 to play here in the opening half. Boy, you saw Clayton. You saw the speed. You saw the move. You saw the whole package.
We've seen him on offense and defense, as well as special teams.
Good step toe. Let this one go out of bounds. The flag is thrown.
That'll drive a coach crazy. Kick the ball inbounds.
You know, Craig Sager, you're on the sideline, and you overheard Mike Deal, the offensive coordinator for Arizona. He's not real happy right now, is he?
No, I remember Charles was talking about how they're trying to get maximum protection for Nick Costa. Well, he brought the entire offensive line together, huddled them on the sideline, got a clipboard out and said, listen, guys, what have we been talking about throughout all training camp? What have we been saying? You guys are sitting out there. As soon as contact is being made, you're throwing your arms up in the air. We need to be aggressive. We have to be the ones that are moving the line forward. Now get out there, change your technique, and go after them.
And he tries to adapt his teaching message, as Craig was saying, to each individual. This time he just said, gosh, we got to get it together. New quarterback Ryan O'Hara is into the ball game as a penalty flag is thrown. Mike Bell over the left side. O'Hara, the golden child of the recruiting class a couple of years ago, a 6'6" freshman out of Pasadena, California. Classic drop-back passer.
One of LSU was lined up too far into the neutral zone. By the way, their nose guard was cocked on the center.
Well, let's see if Arizona can improve their first down yardage. They're averaging -2 yards on first down.
Offside defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Now the penalty was against the defense, and there's Ryan O'Hara. He is a big one, 6'6". Now the line has to get used to a different cadence, a different voice, and also a different style of quarterback.
It shouldn't be too difficult because these guys have split snaps throughout training camp, and they knew this guy was going to come in and play. I think that John Makovic wanted Nick Costa to come out of the game after some positive plays. That's why he stayed in for 3 series.
O'Hara's first pass is complete to the Big Ten. Big tight end Steve Fleming, and he bowls his way past the 45 down to the 4-yard line. Pickup of 19 on the play.
Looking for a spark. Sometimes you have to find a big guy. Number 87, Steve Fleming, definitely fits that category. 6'6", 260. We saw him on tape against UTEP catch a ball for about a 2-yard gain and was tackled. Shook himself free from the tackle and got downfield for about a 20-yard gain. He's very determined in his running after the catch.
One time they were thinking of putting that young man at quarterback.
Yeah, when he first got here.
O'Hara back again, sees some pressure hit as he releases the ball and is level. Chad Lavallee coming in from that defensive tackle spot, and he lowered the boom on the redshirt freshman. That'll get the cobwebs out of your head.
Either that or add to them, depending on where you are at the moment. Chad Lavallee, a preseason All-SEC selection. When you talk to the coaches about his play, they say he's got the potential to be as good an interior lineman as has played at LSU. You know, when his motor's operating on high, had 8.5 sacks last year, nearly got one there.
He's got great hand strength along with his overall strength, and that allows him to get open a lot. This time they pitch it back to Bell, looking for some room. jitterbugs his way down to about the 35-yard line. Ronnie Prude, the junior out of Shreveport, Louisiana, coming up to take the bridge out from underneath him.
Good job pulling by number 66, Keely Lafotu, the offensive guard, blocking on Eric Alexander, number 27. The outside linebacker for LSU, who's a pumped-up, strong safety. There's Lafotu. We asked Mike Deal about this guy. He said he's probably our nastiest offensive lineman, and he said he will play on Sundays in the NFL. He thinks he's that good.
Played as a true freshman here in Arizona. Third down, we'll call it about 4 for the Wildcats. Harris in the backfield. There with the pressure overthrows his intended receiver, Ricky Williams, the junior out of Los Angeles, California.
Nick Saban and Will Muschamp, the defensive coordinator for LSU, can give you so many different looks on defense. That time rushing 4, able to cover man-to-man in the secondary. The crowd wants them to go, and they're 31-0. I don't see any reason why they'd want to give up the ball now.
So Jay Boulware walked over the special teams coach to Mack and just said, hey, let's get after it.
Hey, you're down 31-0. This is the best field position you've had all night long. Try and make a big play here.
Now, last year they were 4 of 9 on 4th down. It's their first attempt this year.
I think LSU will come with pressure on this series, on this play.
I think they were doing the old
penalty flag on the field.
Up too much time.
Yeah, I don't.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I don't think they got up there in enough time, Ron, to even attempt that, try and draw them off sides play. They just were somewhat indecisive about what they were going to do. And then when they finally got the play called, they took too much time. Now they're going to have to punt the ball and hope to play field position against LSU.
Well, James Molina is going to look to pooch kick this one.
He'll need a better punt than he gave him last time. The ball went out on the 20, but where he was, they would have expected it closer to inside the 10.
Just kicking into a pretty stiff wind. Carey standing on his own 11. That's headed toward the end zone. Well, it's time for the Fan Rant, brought to you by Kia Motors, which reminds you to make every mile count.
I got 92,000 friends back home, but at least 5,000 of them travel with me 1,300 miles to Arizona! U of A football, baby! Upset, baby! Upset! LSU who? LSU who? You know it! LSU who? LSU! TBS! TBS! It's the Superstation! It's the Superstation!
I vote for the dog. No offense. LSU taking over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Joseph Adai on the carry. We'll be doing that rant every week, taking our little rant box with us. And so when we come to town, you'll see our 2 new beautiful TV trucks. Homer Aycock driving them into town, and you'll see where the rant box is.
I believe LSU has changed quarterbacks. Marcus Randall, number 12, their backup, who played a lot of the season last year after Matt Mock was hurt, has come into the game to get some experience with LSU, up 31 points.
Now here's a guy that obviously has control of the offense. A little erratic last year, but he's got a great deal of ability. Throws it into the flat. Clayton again with another catch.
He's also very intelligent. If you get it to number 14, that allows you to be a good quarterback in a hurry.
Yeah, I was going to say, that makes you smart.
It makes you very intelligent coming into the game and finding the best target you can find. Randall was the guy last year who had to step in for Mock. Had some good ball games, but also the game last year against Auburn where he threw 4 interceptions. And they lost 31-7. That was probably the low point for them. They finished 3 and 4 under him, but he started to play better as the season went on and had a really good, strong spring practice.
But there's only one game that's etched in everybody's memory when it's the Marcus. So Kentucky throws it out into the flat. Pass is complete. David Jones, the sophomore, on the reception.
Pass is complete to 82, David Jones.
We will not call him Davy Jones and ask if he can sing.
No, I don't do that.
Not this big guy. Plus, he's the nephew of the wide receivers coach, Dan Hickson, for LSU. So he's got a better chance for playing time, doesn't he?
Pickup of 21 on the play.
Yeah, the Bluegrass Miracle you were referring to, with Marcus Randall to Devery Henderson, that pulled out a win at Kentucky that looked like they had no chance whatsoever. blitz by Arizona.
Guy in the backfield. Randall throws it away, and he was hit immediately on the play. Layman Means on the blitz. Let's send it down to Aaron.
Well, Ron, Michael Clayton's certainly in the spotlight this year at LSU, and he's got the tattoo on his stomach to remind him of it. That's right, his stomach, and the tattoo reads, "All eyes on me." Now, this is something that he did when he was a junior in high school, and he said his parents weren't that happy about it, but he told me the reason why he did it was because of a message his dad used to tell him. His dad said, you know, everybody's going to be watching you, so make sure you give 110%. Michael, I understand that, but can't you just write it on your hand or something? That's a little painful, guys.
I like the gym shorts underneath the suit myself.
He's got a higher threshold of pain than we do, Aaron.
Absolutely. Nothing doing on the run by Carey.
Of course, we don't have abs like that either.
That's true. Matt Molina on the stop, a senior out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Well, right now with 5:53 to play, I think if you're Arizona, you just want to get in with nothing else on the scoreboard. If you're LSU, just try to hold them back now. Get something positive.
Well, when we talked with Jimbo Fisher, he said Marcus Randall's best place of improvement has been his game management. The ability to manage the clock, manage the huddle, manage the team. They're going to give him the opportunity to run the full offense before the end of the half to show how much he's improved his skills.
Great idea by Coach Saban. Wide open, and they're going to add 7 more on the board. Devery Henderson from Marcus Randall.
It's only fitting, isn't it?
Yeah, they're the two that hooked it up in the Bluegrass Miracle. This one covered 55 yards.
You know, just last week, as we take a look from the All-State goalpost camp, Devery Henderson just running down the field, just in the middle of the field. No one really in the area to cover it. Easy for Marcus Randall.
75-yard Hail Mary touchdown pass.
Randall stops, throws it as far as he can. Count! Touchdown! I do not believe it! The Tigers pulled off another miracle. It was Devery Henderson who caught it on the last play of the game.
But you know, the key to that really was the play before where Michael Clayton made the catch and immediately called a timeout.
It saved time because they had practiced that. The voice of Jim Hawthorne, the play-by-play voice for the LSU Tigers, almost sounding Jack Buck-esque. The late, great Jack Buck. Remember Kirk Gibson's home run against the A's where he said, "I do not believe what I just saw." Very close to that on the call by Jim Hawthorne. And obviously the LSU people very excited. Everything going their way.
38-0. 5:20 left to play. We're still in the first half. Kicking it with the wind. Steptoe will take a knee again. And just the excitement around Tucson for this Arizona team coming into this game was high. They felt they were ready. We've been in practice the last couple of days and spent a lot of time with Coach Makovic and his players, and we had the sense that these guys felt that they could at least keep up with LSU.
And I think a lot of people bought into it around the community. You pick up the local paper and they talked about, we think this is a different team, and you know, LSU came in a heavy favorite, and people said it won't be that much because this Arizona team will fight and scrap. But too many things happened to them early, especially the big offensive line of LSU, just mashing them downfield.
First down and 10 from their own 20. O'Hara is going to be dropped back at the 13-yard line. This telecast is a copyrighted presentation of the University of Arizona, a member of the Pacific 10 Conference, the Conference of Champions. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the University of Arizona or the Pac-10 Conference. Speaking of disseminated, that's what LSU has done to Arizona's defense right now.
Well, with the score 38-0, allows LSU to just pin their ears back and go. They're not as concerned about a running play because they figure they'll just run to it, and that they did.
Well, Marcus Spears leading the charge, the big 6'4" junior out of Baton Rouge, who's a great athlete. And considering it's only his second year playing on the defensive line, he's an impressive specimen.
And the play he just made, when I saw him initially get to the ball carrier, I thought it was a linebacker.
Yeah.
By the way he got out there, because he's a down defensive end that essentially just played laterally down the line and then came up and forced the play against Mike Bell. And Marcus Spears was one of the big-time recruits for basketball coming out of high school also, chose to play football, and we can see why Nick Saban's so happy to have him.
Now 3rd down and 15, inside of 4 minutes left in the first half. O'Hara from the shotgun. Pockets collapsing.
Flushing the wrong way, Ron.
He better hustle. He's got some space now. He could have run it, throws it instead, should have been intercepted. Bobbled by Cameron Vaughn and was right in the breadbasket, the sophomore out of Terrytown, Louisiana. Boy, I tell you, Cameron's going to look at that tomorrow and go, ooh, because he had golden goalposts ahead of him.
Certainly, and Mike Deal, the offensive line coach and offensive coordinator, is going to talk to Ryan O'Hara because he should have flushed right there. See? And when he came back to the opposite side, he bought himself some time, but the LSU guys were all over him. If he just flushed initially up through the middle of the pocket where they try and keep things clean, taking what he could have gotten out of the play, and then punted it away, I think Coach Makovic would have been much happier.
Now Molina finally got his foot into one, back to the 28-yard line. Perry looking for some running room. Good open field tackle, gets up to the 40. His bodies fly everywhere. This week's installment of the Home Depot Building a Team features LSU freshmen who played last week versus Louisiana Monroe. How about 11 of them? Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all. And then when you take a look at some of these guys who played, I mean, it was unbelievable about how much time they got out there. I mean, Jesse Daniels had 42 plays as a true freshman the first game.
Well, you know, Nick Saban has a great philosophy. If you're ready to play, let's play them. Why wait?
Especially nowadays when kids are coming out earlier, you better get what you can out of them before they go to the NFL and leave you some eligibility on the table.
Here comes the blitz. Randall pump fakes, going deep again, has a man playing center field, Arizona, and it is intercepted down at the 18-yard line. Darrell Brooks, the sophomore out of Moreno Valley, Colorado, comes down with his first pick of the year.
Good coverage. Take a look again. All-State, the goalpost cam giving us a great view. The ball's thrown too much inside, too far inside. For Michael Clayton, you need to throw it closer to the sideline on that route to give him a chance to run under it. But Darrell Brooks playing a great center field, moved over and made an excellent play.
Now Brooks with 8 tackles and an interception. Randall with the interception thrown, his first interception toss this year. And Arizona at least gets a bright spot on defense now, and they have 3:23 to work with. And O'Hara remains at quarterback.
And when you have a 38-0 lead, you can afford to be a little bit greedy and take the shot downfield and hope that Clayton can make a big play.
On the ground. There's Farmer to the right side. Weren't sure if Farmer was going to play because of a sore shoulder. Stick around for our Chili's halftime with Ernie Johnson and Brian Bosworth. We'll catch you up on all of today's action, including the Oklahoma-Alabama game and, of course, the upsets. And there were a couple of pretty good games. What is going on with Auburn?
Yeah, that's a question Tommy Tuberville and the faithful of the Auburn Tigers would love to have an answer for. They thought they'd bounce back to this week at Georgia Tech, and it didn't happen.
Shane Bailey's squad doing a nice job. LSU with 8 on the line. Arizona keeps it on the ground. Farmer running room to the outside, breaks the tackle to the 50, still on his feet down to the 48-yard line. That's the form that Farmer showed a couple of years ago when he led the Pac-10 in rushing.
Only thing you can say is special because LSU had a run blitz on, and what he did was take 3 LSU Tigers in the hole, make a move, and make them all miss and get downfield for big yardage.
Farmer playing on that rebuilt knee. John Makovic telling us that Mike Bell has really pushed him to a 29-yard gain on that play.
Well, Mike Bell runs for 119 yards in opening night. That gets your attention if you are his backup and the guy everyone thought would be the starter.
Here comes LSU on the blitz again. O'Hara pump fakes, has a man down the line and overthrows him. Intended for Lance Relford, he was there.
I don't have to be in John Makovic's meeting for Phil to know exactly what he's going to say on this one. Ryan, son, when you have an opportunity to make this type of play, we can't miss.
That's right.
Because when you're playing teams as skilled as LSU, when your shots are there and you take them, you need to connect. And he had one right there that got away.
looked like he tried to throw it on a rope.
Yeah, he didn't put any air under it at all. He just, I think he got excited by how open the receiver was and gunned it.
Leffert had a step. Second down and 10 from the 47. Air again. This time he puts a little air on the ball. Too much. It's going to be picked. Daniels just waited for that bird to come down, and the junior out of Hollywood, Florida, has his first interception of the year. Little trading interceptions.
Trying to connect with a combination route, sending his receiver downfield. Steptoe, the freshman, really the route wasn't run very strong. You know, it wasn't very definite in the way that he ran the route. And then he put it up there. He's trying to rub each other, the two receivers going downfield and cross, and hope to pick off the defensive backs, but it never really happened. And then, as you said, plenty of air under the ball.
Yeah.
Travis Daniels able to waltz over from center field and pick it off.
Too much here. LSU takes over with 2:25 left in the half from their own 15-yard line. Randall still the quarterback. They keep it on the ground. Adai again.
Remember, Cindric Steptoe, number 1, the receiver, a true freshman. Takes some time to learn.
And our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Home Depot.
But that's good looking, isn't it?
That's sweet looking.
I mean, does that pop out there?
I tell you, that orange does. That's just because it's orange and you're from Tennessee. That's why you like it.
That had nothing to do with it, but since you pointed it out.
Since I pointed it out, yeah. 311 yards for LSU, only 68 total yards in the first half of Arizona. That is the story. Keeping it on the ground. The die this time is going to be wrapped up for no gain. Carlos Williams on the stop. Williams, the junior out of Denver, Colorado, who's added a little bit of bulk, a little bit of strength.
He's made a couple of nice plays this evening.
Have you ever been in a game like this where you're getting your head handed to you, and what did the coach say at halftime?
Well, I remember we were losing to Alabama 42-14 at the half, and my coach Johnny Majors came in and started with a standard speech, and I'll continue after this play.
Okay. I didn't know Johnny had a standard speech. Randall hit as he makes the pitch, running loose. Adai stepping over some blocks, skips his way over to the 32-yard line. Tony Wingate on the stop. Charles?
But this time it was the lead option we saw with the fullback leading and making the big block. See, watch coming right at you here. Watch the fullback coming to block on the corner. That's Kevin Stelz, who bench presses 540 pounds. He's like a road grader coming at you wearing a 4-4 on his jersey. But finishing it off, Coach Major started in with, well, guys, we got to do this. And finally, he just snapped and said, do you realize they could score 70 points tonight? And I remember thinking, well, Coach, they got 42. They could probably score 84.
Yeah, let's just double this, Coach.
That was a bit of a problem. We got hammered that day. It's really tough to come back and play. But the key to it all is the word pride.
That's right.
How much pride do you have? And coaches will evaluate this film to find out who played when things were tough. Who continued to hustle, who continued to try and execute. Those guys who hang their heads, they'll be out of the lineup next week when we're back here against Oregon.
Kerry got close to the first down. John Makovic, I'm sure, is not thinking of any cute quote right now.
Now, there's no cute quote, but also it's a fragile team.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had such high hopes coming in, he'll have to handle this one delicately, but at the same time, let him know what's expected from him.
Second down and 1, losing a yard. Kerry, this time he's tripped up on the play by Clay Hart, coming from that free safety spot.
See, that's a play right there that coaches will point to, that a team's down 38-0, but he's still coming hard and making plays.
That gets a little round of applause from the fans. Final 2 seconds of the half. It has been all LSU. 38-0, over 300 yards total offense, holding Arizona and John Makovic's offense to under 70. Here's Craig Sager with Nick Saban.
Well, Coach, pretty close to a perfect half. You're scoring your first 6 possessions. Your defense is throwing a shutout. Imagine John Makovic has a lot to say at halftime, but what are you going to tell your team?
Well, you know, I'm really pleased with the way we came out and played. This is the first time we really came out and started a scrimmage or a game this year where we had some pizzazz right off the bat, especially offensively. You know, we think we can have a good offensive football team, and I think they showed it today. What I'm interested in is we want to play for 60 minutes. I don't care what the score is.
Thanks a lot. Great first half. Thank you, Ron.
All right, Craig. That concludes first half of college football on TBS, a part of Big PlayStation Saturday. Now let's go to Ernie Johnson and Brian Bosworth back in our studios.
All right, thank you, Ron. It is TBS. It is the Boz Show. It is also known in several areas as the Chili's halftime report. And to keep the folks at Chili's happy, that's what we'll call it for the duration of this time. How you doing, Boz?
I got a stomachache. That's a horrible game. Arizona's terrible.
It's a bit of a struggle, 38-0. Let's hope that is not the case. And on that note, what do you say we look at some highlights of games that are a little more?
And they got in behind the secondary, got a touchdown.
Alabama's Brody Coyle, Triandos Luke. Suddenly a 13-10 game, but the Sooners would prevail. Here's White again going up top.
You know, the interesting thing about this play is it precedes a fake punt, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's Oklahoma. They take advantage, and Coach Stoops comes back and they break his back.
20-13 for the top-ranked Sooners. Now the number 2 team in the land, Ohio State, struggling today against San Diego State as Wesley Williams scores from 11 yards out. But it was the defense for Ohio State that did the trick. This is Will Allen.
That's right. You know, San Diego actually outplayed Ohio State in every facet of the game except for one, and I know San Diego State would like to have it back, and that's turnovers. They gave the game away by giving too many turnovers away. 16
wins in a row for Ohio State, a lot of them tight ones just like that. 16-13, they win it. Now let's talk in favor of Alabama, and Bob Stoops calls for a fake punt.
Yeah, and it's coming right out of Alabama's touchdown, and Bob Stoops, this is why I like Bob Stoops. He's so unpredictable. Instead of giving the game away, he's playing conservative. He does this little fake punt here, and it's what makes Bob Stoops such a great coach.
Blake Ferguson hitting Michael Thompson for the first down there, and I guess Stoops figuring, you know what, if this doesn't work, I have enough confidence in my defense that they're going to rise up and hold Alabama. As it turns out, that's a huge play in a 20-10 win.
No question about it. They lived up to their number 1 billing. The defense did what they had to do, and they came in. They got a big win in Alabama, and that's tough to go into somebody else's backyard and play with their toys.
So Oklahoma will remain number 1, and when we come back, we're going to head to South Florida because they had a big one tonight, Miami and Florida. And if you thought this thing was over when the Gators had a big lead, you were wrong. A wild night at the Orange Bowl. Highlights coming up.
Welcome to the Chili's Halftime Report. The halftime show like no other.
One stage of your journey is over. Another begins.
Now on DVD and VHS. Return to the legend. Return to the journey. Return to the adventure. The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, now available.
The Kia Sorento just received the government's highest safety rating and was voted number 1 in quality. Safety and quality. There's really nothing left for us to say. Except, it is the only SUV with a standard V6 engine, front and side curtain airbags, and a 10-year warranty, all for thousands less than Highlander. Okay, that's all we're gonna say.
It's hard to lose your best friend, especially when it's your son. To go from being the hero to the villain. I've become the snoop, the spy. I pry into his life. He says, I'll never treat my son like this. And I think, if you love him, you will.
Safely, meaning you do stuff like obey the speed limit, always check your blind spot, and avoid accidents. Hey, Wafoot, then Allstate could reward you with something you'll eat right up. Some green. Up to 20% off your insurance bill. It's the Allstate Safe Driver Discount. Call today and find out how you're in good hands and stay. Hey, you're the safe driver. Here you go.
Even a little rain can feel like a deep sea dive when you're looking for your rental car. At Hertz, we know exactly how you feel. Hertz #1 Club Gold has your car waiting for you. You skip the counter and go directly to your car under a weather-affected area. No lines, no swimming. At Hertz, we know exactly how you feel, so we have exactly what you need.
You're not trying to hurt people, though, are you?
Yeah, I am. Enjoyable thing that I enjoy. Out of hitting somebody is just like knocking the snot bubbles out of somebody. You just knock them and all over their face. I mean, I've often done that. I've knocked a quarterback down and seen him moaning. You all right? No, good. That's the good old days, baby.
You're a tough guy. Well, I'm just watching that old stuff, man.
I'm only tough on the field. I'm actually a little put that off the field.
Yeah, I can tell from your comments in the first segment. Meantime, Florida and Miami are going at it tonight, and I tell you what, this was not an incomplete pass. That is a lateral. That's a live ball, and that's Q1 lift going 34 yards. Florida on top 16-10. Miami come out and return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. But Florida takes control of this game, or so it seemed, Boz.
Yeah, this is a game of really big plays and big mistakes. You wouldn't think Miami's defense would be this porous, and I tell you what, Florida really showed that you could score on Miami. The problem is you got to step in their throat and shut them out, and they didn't do that. They let them back in the game.
Yeah, Brock Berlin to Ryan Moore, and suddenly these guys were down 33-10. They closed the gap to 33-32, and they're not done yet because here goes Frank Gore just moments ago playing the lead over Florida in Orange Bowl with 2 minutes to play in that game. It is 38-30.
Lucky or good, it doesn't matter. They somehow always find a way to win. And they've done it under Larry Coker, and they've done it under previous coaches. It's an amazing amount of talent that comes out of Miami each and every year. It's scary. It's unbelievable.
At this point of the season, how can you tell who really is going to be the elite? I mean, some teams you say, yeah, they're going to. Other teams have not gotten out to the stars that maybe you think they should.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do. Teams seem to live up to their hype, and some teams seem to want to read their hype. And I think that to read their hype, believe it, and go out and prepare, and focus, and get in a four-quarter game and play 4 quarters. And you're seeing some of that early game ugliness early on in the season.
There have certainly been some surprises, some close calls. We'll look at some of those when we come back with more on the Chili's halftime report. Notre Dame looked to be in a heap of trouble today against Washington State. The story from South End and more when we come back.
Philips digital screen televisions. Life should be so real. And every TV should be this amazing. It's big yet slim, a centerpiece yet unobtrusive. But the true beauty of it is the Philips Active Control System, able to adjust for sharpness, clarity, and color automatically 60 times a second for an incredibly vivid picture. Now through December 2004, get 0% financing and a mail-in rebate for a free portable DVD LCD player at Sears.
Got to admit, it's getting better, all the time.
Today's ever-growing world of new technology demands highly trained computer-aided personnel. ITI will prepare you to meet the demand for technically skilled people in such areas as architecture, manufacturing, construction, and engineering. With over 30 years of experience in education, ITI puts the knowledge and facilities to assist you. Virtual aid is available with both day and evening classes offered. ITI makes it easier for you to get the education you need to have the career you want. Wait, call ITI now at 752-4233. ITI for a better life.
Hello, I'm Lane from Lane's Jewelry. Welcome to Antwerp, Belgium, in the heart of the diamond industry.
Lane Jewelry knows that when it comes to diamonds, you want exceptional quality with affordability. That's why Antwerp is Lane's Jewelry's direct source for the finest diamonds in the world. Stop by Lane's Jewelry today.
Welcome back to the Chili's halftime report. Boy, a long day for Penn State against Boston College. Tom Martin with a pick here, set up a touchdown.
I love it when that guy score. I think maybe Joe Potter hit the road, baby.
I don't know if that crossed his mind today, but certainly a 27-14 was stung. How about this? Wake Forest beating NC State, the number 14 team in the country.
Wake Forest came to play.
2-0. Virginia and South Carolina. Andrea Pickens, Troy Williamson, he's gone, 99.
Big plays after big plays today.
Virginia short-handed in South Carolina, looking much better in week 2 than week 1. Notre Dame goes to overtime and gets this field goal from Nicholas Setta.
God, that blew that into the goal. Did you see that?
Inside the left upright. Georgia Tech beats Auburn. The Tigers are 0-2.
See, here's a team that's leaving the hype they're reading instead of living the hype.
They have scored no touchdowns in 2 games, the Tigers. Colorado, a 16-14 winner of UCLA today.
They had some trouble with UCLA.
Absolutely. Hey, Marshall gave Tennessee some trouble, but the Vols win 34-24. Casey to Tony Brown, and the Volunteers hang on. Here on TBS, 38-0 is the LSU lead over Arizona. Back.
Chili's baby back ribs. To go. Get in, get out, get on with your life.
The Home Depot's more than a store. It's the only place to find all the great brands. Everything from GE to Thomasville. Names you know give your home the look you've always dreamed. To beautify any bath or kitchen, consider the sophistication of Moen faucets. Their large assortment of designs can add style and quality to your home. Only one place has these distinctive styles from Moen, as well as helpful advice and guaranteed everyday low prices. The Home Depot. We can help.
Some people say that their car is a form of self-expression. In that case, there's no better way than AutoZone to get the parts, accessories, and help you need to express yourself. So get in the AutoZone.
With new Odor Eaters Plus. Odor Eaters Plus is the only in podiatric arch support plus protection on demand against odor and wetness.
Jump for joy, new Odor Eaters Plus.
Chili's baby back ribs. To get in, get out, get on with your life.
Welcome back to the Chili's halftime report. So, you got a problem with this graphic?
Yeah, I want to go. You cool? You got EJ. I want Boz, man. There you go. I love you.
That's the Schick Quattro post-game report. Up after the game, by the way. That's it for the Chili's halftime report.
Thanks for watching the Chili's halftime report. The halftime show like no other.
5 wide, all deep, 790 dude. Chili suckers, what's up?
Yes! Can you no! What'd you do? Touchdown!
It was way too easy. Can't believe they didn't go with the 902 quick out. Duh! Jake.
Rated E for everyone.
Let's say this is your car. Nice hardtop. Drive safely, meaning you stuff like obey the speed limit, always check your blind spot, and avoid accidents. Hey, watch your foot. Then Allstate could reward you with something you'll eat right up. Some green. Up to 20% off your insurance bill. It's the Allstate Safe Driver Discount. Call today and find out how you're in good hands with Allstate. Hey, this is Safe Driver. Here you go.
He's after man.
He's got her face like a weasel.
Who's after a fortune.
It's worth millions.
Now everyone's after them on September 26th.
Okay. Don't worry, they're little people. You can take them little. Ow! Got hard.
The chase is on.
You got moves. I'll give you that.
The Rundown, rated PG-13, at theaters Friday, September 26th.
Ow!
A great land, destined to become a great nation, built on ingenuity and sheer will, strengthened by ideas and new technologies, and powered by the 48,000 men and women of Union Pacific, providing the building blocks of our nation.
Engineers, doctors, students, they live at home and train near home. They're a cornerstone of the U.S. Army. Soldiers in the Army Reserve, and they are ready to serve wherever, when they're needed. For more information, log on to goarmyreserve.com.
LSU leading 38-0 over Arizona with the quarter coming up. It's a final in Miami, 38-33. Miami with 28 straight points knocks off Florida. Right now, let us check in with Michelle Merkin.
Thanks, Ernie. I'm just watching these guys lose their minds over a great new college football game for PlayStation 2. It's NCAA Game Breaker 2004 by 989 Sports. Experience all great traditions of college football, including formations like the Full House and Wishbone, 50 new mascots and cheerleaders, all in front of stadiums packed with fans, students, and alumni. The most amazing part is that now you can go online and head-to-head against your rival. You want to see how intense it gets? Hey guys, which way's hot tub? Do you see what I mean? Settle it online with NCAA Game Breaker 2004 989 Sports.
An American soldier serves more than his army. He is a selfless defender of our rights and freedoms. He is proof that one soldier can and does make a difference. So CJ Overway, an army of one.
Log on to goarmy.com.
Even a little rain can feel like a deep sea dive when you're looking for your rental car. So Number One Gold has your car waiting under their protected area. At Hertz, we know exactly how you feel, so exactly what you need. Sometimes your sense of direction no longer makes sense. That's why Hertz offers Never Lost, the in-car navigation system.
Right turn.
At Hertz, we know exactly how you feel, so we have exactly what you need.
Here at the Pluses in Gonzales, 04 is arriving, 03, let's go. Don't miss out on our huge discount rebate.
New 2003 GMC Envoy, $7,000 off MSRP.
Get a new GMC extended cab, $17,288.
Or a new 2003 GMC Crew Cab, $9,500 off.
And all Buicks and Pontiacs free reduced with the Pontiac Buick GMC in Gonzales.
Hi, I'm Carl Tuttle at Duplessis Volvo. Summer's here and so are the savings at Duplessis. All the new 2004 models are now in stock. Come in and enjoy the experience of a new Volvo. From the convertible to the all-new XC90, we have them all. Let our sales team show you how easy it is to treat yourself a new Volvo. About service after the sale, our service department is one of the finest anywhere. Come in and feel the difference, the Duplessis difference. Duplessis Volvo, located on the corner of Airline and Corsi at Blue Bonnet and Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to College Football. PBS, part of Big Station Saturday as we get set to start the third quarter. The score, LSU rolling a shutout. They lead at 38-0, and LSU is 25-0 when they score 25 or more points. With Nick Saban as their head coach, along with Charles Davis, I'm Ron Thulin. History does not go, obviously, for Arizona. But what stood out to us when halftime and we saw Arizona literally walk off the field. They looked dejected. Looked like a beat team.
And that's probably remnants from last year, but this is where John Mackovic and his new coaching staff would have to be careful going into the locker room, but their experience will probably lead them to talk to these kids firmly, but letting them know they love them, because they can't afford to lose the season right now. They've got to get after it today.
Now we're ready for the second half kickoff. LSU will be kicking it off to Arizona. Another driving kick, and this time Arizona step-toe going to take it out. Loose football. Arizona gets it. See where they spotted it. Probably the 1 yard line. My goodness.
Nick Saban said he wanted his team to play a full 60-minute game, as he told Craig going to the half. The great start on the second half. Big time hit by number 38 for LSU, Gino Gambaluka, a special teams whiz that we heard about in our meeting with LSU coaches. Anything started big note for LSU.
Well, now Arizona, this is not the way they wanted to begin the second half. You're down by a bundle of keeping it around, try outside, not much doing. Maybe picked up a yard or two on the play. Let's take a look at our Best Buy Authority report. These are numbers that John Mackovic would rather not look at halftime.
Well, when I look at these numbers, the thing that I'm drawn to, third down conversion, there is 0 for 6. And also saw in the halftime, Arizona 1 for 12 throwing the football. And when you're down 38-0, the ball's going to be in the air a lot. They need to make a few connections along the way.
One pass completion. Now they're facing second down and 8. Ball's on the 3 yard line. Back in at quarterback, flag is thrown. Well, using that little with the first, gets close to our Home Depot 1st and 10 line. But there is a penalty flag back at the 1 yard line. Well, that hurts. Craig Sager, you had a chance to spend some time with Djokovic at intermission. How was he?
He wasn't, Ron. He saw what you guys saw at the end of the half, and he had a very tough job going to the locker room trying to rally his defeated troops. What he told them at halftime is, listen, guys, we are very young. Come out and play with pride. We're building for an entire year. Don't let what from me ruin an entire year. No, we did not play well. Let's go second half to play well, play with pride, and let's go out and do the things you know you can do. He tried to be positive with them because he knew they were very down. Right?
And you talked about pride, Charles, but also John Mackovic yesterday talked about just playing to your own potential. Don't try to do some super because this is a footwork, as you mentioned.
He said, you do your own capability, that should be good enough, and if it's not, we'll just keep working to improve. That's what he's got to find, and another penalty is going to be on the right tackle, I believe, Brandon Phillips.
That's a senior.
Quick set.
That's a senior, and you know that you just don't want to have that happen to one of your best blockers and one of your leaders.
And what's happening now is they're trying so hard, they're making more errors. They're pressing.
Prior to the snap, full stop, offense, half the distance, remains second down.
Well, half the distance was what, 3 inches?
They couldn't even roll the ball over end to end because it would have been too much to put in the end zone. So they just move it a little bit. LSU now trying to get excited on defense. Nick Saban's speech at halftime. We'll see a full 60 minutes. So the defense still showing a lot of spirit to start the second half.
So they're right in front of some of the LSU faithful in the corner of the end zone. Costa from the shotgun. Has some pressure deep out. Pass is caught up to the 8-yard line. Byron Ely, we're out of Houston, Texas, with his first reception of the afternoon.
And this actually works out well. Just a nice deep out. And Costa showing a nice arm, throwing it from the end zone and the opposite hash mark across field to hit Byron Ely. The unfortunate part is that they came to the ball so far, had to come back so much, he lost yardage. They could have had about 2 or 3 additional yards if the ball had been thrown downfield a little bit farther.
But Costa did have some zing on it. Third and about 3. Keeping it on the ground, tripping up before getting to the 10-yard line is Bell. Bell has that one, just like still those shoulders. And I think a lot of running back coaches are going to say, great, let's get upfield.
Make the one move and then be definite about where you're going. That was a great play by number 13. Courts through the corner. You're not going to see it because it wasn't a monster hit. It's not going to show up on a highlight film, but what he did is the cornerback held the corner and allowed Bell to turn it. Because he couldn't turn it, he had to get the extra talked about, partner. That allowed the pursuit to come from the inside out to get him.
Al Molina standing about 8 yards deep in the zone. Another not-so-hot kick. Line drive at the 47-yard line, slipping and falling. 35 kick, 5 yards on the return. The LSU defense, that was the mark coming into the game, but a lot of questions were answered in that first 30 minutes.
Yeah, we worried about their intensity to start off. Marcus Spears, right from the beginning, has played a monster game. Jack Hunt, the strong safety, running him down. Then Lionel Turner, the new middle liner, forcing him for the LSU's recovered, and they scored off of it. Travis Daniels and Chad Lavallee with the big hit. This LSU team has been active and aggressive. Are developing the nasty attitude that Nick Saban has been asking from them.
He's been asking since the spring on that.
So get it then, he's starting to see it now.
LSU's Matt Mock back in at quarterback. Joe Dye back in at running back. Picks up a couple, but again we see LSU. Great field position. Their hooks on the stop.
Look at Peter, number 72. Rodney Reed, number 60. Those guys get downfield and they move pile. You always hear coaches talk about moving the line of scrimmage. For the defensive line, you want to move it forward. The defensive line, you want to move it backward. All night long, LSU has been moving it in the direction they wanted. 75 yards already for a die this evening. Second down and short. They'll try the right side. Good. First die maybe goes about a yard past it. Carlos Williams on this. You know, we talk about that offensive line. What a great group of guys. In fact, I think they all try to mooch food off Matt Mock. But number 60, Rod Reed, how about 889 snaps last year, only 4 sacks, and only 4 penalties. But this kid, look at his GPA. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes. Yeah, he's a 3.9 in accounting. Look at that. And you know who wrote this article in SI? John Ed Bradley, a former SEC center, all SEC center for LSU.
One of the smartest people in football is Rodney Reed, already graduated. Matt Mock throws in the flat. Pass is complete. Justin Vincent, another first down as he pulls his way inside the 15 down to about the 14-yard line.
It's a very good article because of the point that John Ed Bradley was trying to make, and he's a lot of pride as a former center, is that the smartest guys on the field are the offensive linemen with all the things they have to handle. The adjustments, the line front, the blitzes, and the changing of play calls. And Rodney Reed, one of the better ones out there at play, as well as thinking this game.
That's right. Jimmy Courtney, a backup also already with a degree in hand. Out of 10, Ellen knocking on the door again, just working on their game plan. Matt Mock, the Devery inside the 5, down to about the 2-yard line. They'll mark it at the 1. Mack is in such a great rhythm. Now here's a guy that was drafted as a third baseman. He said Terry Kennedy made him a catcher. It's a different throw, but he's did well.
Yes, he has. And watch the block on the corner. Coming up to your right there. What a great block by Skylar Green, the wide receiver for Devery Henderson. One of the key attributes of the other receivers is that when Matt Mock gets them the ball, the other guys rally him for them downfield.
Now they're about to punch it in again for another X. Carey inside, down LSU again. Another impressive drive by the LSU offense. Less than 5 minutes here in the third quarter. Adds more on the board.
As we go back to what Nick Saban told Craig Sager going off at the half. I just want to see us play a 60-minute game. I don't care what the score is. He's not trying to run it up. He's not trying to rub it in on John McEnroe. So in the second game of the season, he wants to see a full effort from his team and getting it tonight.
Chris Jackson with the extra point. The Tigers are to move up in the rankings. They lead at 45-0.
The Home Depot is more than a store. It's the only place to find the great brands. Everything from GE to Thomasville. Names you will give home the look you've always dreamed of. To beautify any bath or kitchen, consider the sophistication of Moen faucets. Their largest assortment of designs can add style and quality to your home. Only one place has these distinctive styles from Moen, as well as advice and guaranteed everyday low prices. The Home Depot. You do it and help.
Have you checked out BestBuy.com? There's even more stuff here.
Now, this is for what again? Nature photography? Oh, cool. We should probably get you a longer zoom. Yeah.
Think our store is big? Check out BestBuy.com. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
Let's say this is you. Yeah, you're the king. But being the king isn't always easy. So, when you're with Allstate, you'll have 50,000 professionals to help protect you. From claims adjusters who can fix a broken castle, to emergency assistants to ride to your rescue, to lawyers that go to court with you if you need them, and your Allstate agent who's the moves to help you. Helping you, the king, feel protected. Just one more way, you're in good hands with Allstate.
Hello, Charles Dick, Craig Sager, Aaron Andrews, I'm Ron Thulin, welcoming you back to Arizona Stadium. Crowd of over 46,000 on hand tonight, but they're already hitting the aisles because LSU has just mantled the Arizona Wildcats. We're up 45-0, still 10 left to play, quarter number 3. Steptoe takes the seat. Well, next week at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, we'll be right back here at Arizona Stadium as Arizona opens up Pac-10 play. They take on the Oregon Ducks. First, that'll be by the Chick Quattro post-game report with Ernie Johnson and Brian Bosworth. Join us Saturday and we kick off Pac-10 play. Not bad on the 13th of September.
No, and you did not need to adjust your set on the Oregon highlight. Those were their lightning yellow uniforms, and we're I'm kind of anxious to see if they'll wear them next week.
Hope they do.
you got a few lines working for them?
I'm working. Mike told me at Texas Tech that they've got the best looking uniforms in college football now.
Mike Belotti's going to fight with them. He said all the recruits love him when they see him on the 2.
There's Farmer in the backfield now. Costa play action, throws it out of the flat. This Sean Jones is back. Crosses the 25 up to about 27-yard line. Jones, the sophomore out of Houston, Texas, Houston North Shore, an excellent high school for high school football. Here's a young man, though, they had great hope for, but they're real pleased with the shape he came in this past summer.
And that's part of maturity. You have to grow up and learn. You go away for the summer. You've got a job to do when you come back fall. And guys come in that are better players, they continue to recruit. You come in out of shape, you might not hit the field at all.
Quick snap, Costa keeps it on the grill. LSU is right there. 5 yellow and white jerseys in the whole 9 yards, and they're just going to wrap up. Not much running room.
The way LSU's playing on defense tonight, and Dave Peterson getting involved in that one. We saw Melvin Oliver getting involved. There's Mike Deal, the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach, not very happy with what he's seeing in terms of run blocking. But for the LSU fans, what they're seeing on defense tonight, maybe it's some memories of that 0 for some third down for Arizona. The Chinese Bandits of Paul Dietzel.
That's
the national championship, their defensive unit.
Now they're facing 3rd and 5. LSU brings 7. Costa on the run, throws it on the flat. Let's see, it could be intentional grounding, it could also be face mask. His head kind of looked like he got turned around good.
Yeah, the referee standing around the play did not drop the flag. It came from a linesman down at the bottom of the field. The line judge, Mike Westlow.
He was outside the tackle. Well, it is face mask.
So Westlow had the better look from inside. The referee might have been green. Watch as comes out. Look here at number 4. Marquise Hill. See right there. Let's take a look. He's got a little bit of mask and a little bit of shoulder, too.
Well, that's one of the better offensive plays for Arizona tonight. Unfortunately, it was on a penalty.
Tough way for Nick Costa's team downfield. You don't want to lose your head while everything around you is going crazy.
Touched is one tough cookie, though. Here's a young man. He's 5'11", 211. He squats 580. Power cleans 365.
And won the 100-meter high school for the state of Oregon. So they say he went to 4.40.
Bell chased down by Dave Peterson coming from the right side, the strong side linebacker spot. The senior out of Bristol, Florida. Loss of 2 on the play. But you're seeing the speed. I mean, here is Mike Bell. He's a legit 4.3, 4.4 guy. Peterson had no problem running him down.
And 6'3", 247 is listed in the program. size and speed. It's a tough nation to beat. And the speed of the game tonight is so much different than what Arizona faced against UTEP. No disrespect to UTEP, but no way you match up at all with the speed that LSU brings with them.
On 2nd and 12, Costa has some time. Throws lap, forced that one incomplete. Intended for Ricky Williams. One of the things Mike Deal likes to do at Arizona, wants to play down and distance. Last week they were 0-2, making half the yard needed for the first down. In other words, they're facing 2nd and 12 on that play. Instead of trying to get 6 or maybe 8, they try to get the whole thing. Good management out there.
No, because when you're talking down and distance on first down, you want to get 4 yards or more. Make it 2nd and 6 or less. Second down, obviously the same thing. That way, methodical and downfield. Plus, the defense can't just tee off on it. As you just mentioned, 2nd and 12. You got to figure it's going to be a pass. Here comes the big rush.
3rd and 12, LSU brings the blitz. Costa throws this one up for grabs. And he wasn't in sync with his wide receiver, Mike Jefferson.
Had a adjustment on the read. Mike Jefferson ran it out. And Nick Costa thought he was going to run the go route. Right up the sideline. Run the fade. You just mentioned on the same page.
Well,
not even in the same book on that one.
Now Mike Jefferson, a redshirt freshman, as Molina will go back to punt again. He's going to be one tight beat. Tyrone carries back to the 18-yard line. Every facet of the game has been good for LSU tonight. This time Molina, one of his better kicks. Carry back at the 15-yard line. Lost a wheel. Well, he blew a shoe. And with 8:12 to play in the 3rd quarter, holding on to that 45-0 lead. The defense wants the shutout.
Philips digital widescreen televisions. Life should be so real. And every V should be this amazing. It's big yet slim, a centerpiece yet unobserved. But the true beauty of it is the Philips Active Control System, able to adjust sharpness, clarity, and color automatically 60 times per second for an incredibly vivid picture. Now through September 2004, get 0% financing and a mail-in rebate for a free 4D LCD player at Sears.
It's getting better, a little better all the time.
The Kia Sorento just received the government's highest safety rating and was #1 in quality. Safety and quality. There's really left for us to say. Except, it is the only SUV with a standard V6 engine, front and side curtain airbags, and a 10-year warranty, all for thousands less than under. Okay, that's all we're going to say.
Our first and 10 is brought to you by Home Depot. That's something that LSU has crossed a number of times this evening. They have the football. First from their own 19-yard line. They're keeping it on the ground as Marcus Randall back in up at quarterback for LSU. Let's go down to Aaron Andrews. Aaron?
All right, Ron. Well, here the LS Tigers are dedicating their season to their equipment manager of 24 years, Mr. Jeff Boss. Right now, Jeff fighting a battle with cancer. He missed his first game in 20 years last weekend. He was unable to get here to Tucson this weekend. But Jeff wanted to let you know everybody here is thinking about you. We even got his T-shirt with a quote that he's in the locker room right on. It says no finish line. And again, everyone here thinking about him. We're all rooting for him. This guy means a lot to him, guys.
Absolutely. Is the pass. They're going to call it complete up the 31-yard line. Jeff, our prayers are with you, my friend. Yep. Keith Singer on the reception, the true freshman out of Leesville, Louisiana. His first collegiate catch off the Marcus Randall.
And when you say equipment manager, you're talking Division I college ball.
Oh, my.
They are a lot more than what the title implies.
Yeah.
Equipment managers, when you have to move a team to a ball game, talk about people working overtime. Jeff, all the best to you.
13 miles away, LSU's case. Skyler now to the outside along Benny Brazil. They're going to keep it on the ground. Arizona's defense there to stop Justin Vincent. Here, Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. EJ.
All right, Ron, Southern California. That's Omar Nazel with a gift. 35-18 winners over BYU. Matt Leinart, 3 touchdowns for the Trojans, who are 2-0, following up their shutout of Auburn with a 35-18 win over Brigham Young.
All right, how about Norm Chow? Used to be at BYU some 27 years. He takes his old team to the woodshed, huh?
Yeah, got a lot to work with. Matt Leinart, you know, everybody was worried about him the starting quarterback this year. Great play. Howard.
Randall is hit, still gets the pass away, almost committed. Brazil had it in his hands and lost it, but Marcus Randall take a wallop upside the head. Patrick Howard coming in.
And still delivered a pretty decent ball. Marcus Randall strong in the pocket. I was going to talk about Matt Leinart, USC, being 6'6" and being able to make some plays when he was so inexperienced going into the Auburn game. Looking for Molina on the backside, too. Randall's almost completed the pass. He's a very strong young man in the pocket.
3rd down and 10 situation for LSU. 7 of 8 on 3rd down tonight. On the other side of the football, Arizona for 8. Randall, plenty of time. This time, no hit. All of a sudden, the pocket collapses. Big 92, Carlos Williams. We've got a penalty flag on the field. Williams, the big junior, Denver, Colorado. Combination of size, speed, and strength, and we saw it all on that play.
And the flag came after the sack was completed. Wonder if someone got tangled up behind the play. A couple of the linemen got tangled up and got their hands in the wrong spot. Is this indicative of Arizona? May have gotten their hands up into the face mask area. Saw Rodney Reed, number 60, gesturing that way to the.
Yeah, we'll listen in and see what the call is.
Personal foul, defense, blow to the head. He will be enforced 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic, 1st down.
So look to the right side of your screen, right of the screen. Carlos Williams, number 92, collapses the pocket. And you see helmet to helmet. They want it, and then the end of the play there, you see no longer getting into it. I guess they're calling the helmet to helmet blow from Carlos Williams. I don't think that he went in there intentionally and did that. I think it's just one of those things that kind of came together.
Like Marcus Randall kind of dipped his head a little bit too.
Trying to enforce rules for safety. That's a tough call against Arizona.
LSU getting some of the young players in. Get our first look at Ali Broussard, a very talented young man, the freshman out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Big and fast. They call him a load. They love this man.
Did they brighten up talking about him?
Oh,
we met with Jimbo Fisher, and Jimbo said when he runs the ball, he doesn't seem to get hurt, but other people.
No. He went over his lineman's feet, the back of him. He's so big and he's so quick.
Ran over Coach Saban one day.
Yeah, that's not smart when you're a freshman. Guard this time tries to keep his feet, crosses the 50, stumbles his way down to the 47-yard. Carlos Williams coming underneath, and now we got a little pushing and shoving and some penalty flags thrown.
This is when you worry about the game getting a little chippy because you have one team that's very frustrated in Arizona.
Deontay Sherman was in on. Another personal foul, 30 yards of penalties. And you know, I think coaches, they don't like bad plays, but they go ballistic on brain cramps like this.
It's one thing to fight hard in the game.
Foul, defense, 50-yard penalty, an automatic 1st down.
You know, it's one thing to fire even when you're down and to continue to be aggressive, but to get chippy, go over the line and get just what you said, the cheap fouls.
Yeah.
That coaches say that's not toughness. You know, toughness is not defined by getting a cheap shot or a cheap foul. Toughness is defined as hanging in there and fighting your way through adversity.
But John Makovic is going to talk about that with his team. He called a timeout, trailing by a bunch, but they still want to play with some pride.
The Kia Sorento just received the government's highest safety rating. It was voted #1 in quality, safety, and quality. There's nothing left for us to say. Except, it is the only SUV with a standard V6 engine, front and side curtain airbags, and a 10-year warranty, all for thousands less than Highlander. Okay, that's all we're gonna say.
It's back to school, and what better to arrive than in style and comfort in a Cadillac Escalade or Escalade ESV from Duplessis Cadillac. The world's most powerful full-size SUV is luxurious on a grand scale, with spacious interior seating 8, full elbow room, and plenty of extra storage. Tune in with a stereo system equipped with satellite radio and DVD. The Escalade from Duplessis Cadillac, on the corner of Airline and Coursey at Bluebonnet.
Family is important to me. When my grandfather started Barbera Chevrolet in 1926, almost 80 years ago, he passed down a simple philosophy to all of us. Simple, and treat the customer like family. That's what you get at Barbera's. No hassle, good prices, great service. Just country kindness. We want your business, but we also want you to join our family. So before you buy, come see us so I can keep up our 80 years of family tradition. Just keeping it simple.
Welcome back as Barrington Edwards, another young freshman out of Bowie, Maryland, on the carry, try on the right side as Nick Saban goes to the second team offensive line. You got Blanchard in there, Courtenay, Hurley, Johnson, McLaughlin. This is a great opportunity to prepare them for the rest of the SEC season, because they've got some big games coming up. Of course, they've got the Auburn game circled, which may not mean a whole lot coming up on October the 25th, but when you have Georgia, Florida, and Auburn at home, you want to make sure you've got backups for your backups.
Schedules up very nicely for them. You're right, you need to get people some experience in case they have to play due to injury.
Randall throws it on the flat, pass is complete. Dwayne Bowe, the freshman out of Miami, Florida, another talented receiver at 6'3", 202. So how about that? You have Bowe at 6'3", you have Eaton at 6'4", you have Brill at 6'1", and Henderson at 6 foot. You some guys that's got some height speed that can catch the football.
They're able to present themselves very nicely as targets for the quarterback. All big, strong, physical guys. Nick Saban preaches tough football, and these guys live it.
First and 10 from the 21. Keeping it on the come. Barrington Edwards picks up a couple. College football on TBS is brought to you by Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. And Chili's. Sweet, boneless, cool. Just boneless buffalo wings. Along with Charles Davis, Aaron and Craig Sager, we welcome you back to Arizona Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, where it has been all LSU. 17-0 at the end of one. It is now 45-0. We still have 2:56 here in the third. Pretty solid play coming up from that strong safety spot. Lehman Mead, a sophomore out of Galena Park, Texas.
He's had a nice night on the blitzes. Whether it's been a run blitz or a pass blitz, he's had a sack tonight. He's made a couple of tackles in the backfield for losses.
Good size for a strong safety, too, 6'96".
First time as a full-time starter for Arizona. Coach Hankwitz told us as he becomes more comfortable, he'll become more aggressive. I think we're seeing some of that tonight. He's becoming a lot more comfortable in their defensive scheme.
Now Randall will go from the shotgun on 3rd and 8. See pressure, going to be dragged down from behind, 32-yard line. Another personal foul. Paul Phillip, the young redshirt freshman, was trying to get out of the way and just kind of fell on Randall, and that official has the quick flag.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit, 15-yard penalty, previous spot, automatic first down.
So when they make a great play, as they just did with like Andre Torrey,
that was a good call.
And then it's an excellent call because Paul Phillip dove on him after he was definitely down, and now that earned Paul Phillip a spot on the sideline.
Should Paul running now, or should we wait till tomorrow morning when they finally meet?
About those attention getters that he's going to be running?
Yeah.
I think that there are going to be a few people running some attention getters, but again, we go back to what John Makovic told Craig Sager at the half. They've got to figure a way to get their message across without totally browbeating guys. It's only the game season. They were fragile anyway based on last year. They had a lot of hope after the first game. But boy, you don't want to regress so much after the improvement you made against Newtown.
Let me ask you this: we see John McAdoo. He knows he has a fragile team. Know what happened in November. You as a head coach, a little hesitant to even yell at the guys because what happened?
I think you are, but I think you're also going to. It's going to be, you know, that velvet hammer you've got to use. There's a fumble.
And Arizona's got it up to the 23-yard line. Zayante Sherman up with the ball. Fumble was caused by Carlos Williams. There's a bright spot.
See, this is how they'll use it, too. They'll say, see, we do have guys who are continuing to hustle and play, guys fighting and scratching. Nice job by Carlos Williams causing the fumble. As Zayante Sherman picks up and tries to make a big return. Good tackle. Marcus for the quarterback. So he knows that he's got positive plays to show the guys, but he also has some negative ones to show also and say, guys, if we can eliminate those, this is what we're trying to get to. This, not that.
I mean, think about it. They had 3 personal fouls on the drive.
All turning into first down.
Turning into first downs, and they still in a turnover situation, which is sort of a moot point, but LSU didn't capitalize on it. Arizona came up. Costa going back. This is where he's dangerous. This man can scoot. But he's dragged down from behind, picked up maybe a yard out of the play. Matt Molina coming up from that, or I should say, Kirsten Pittman coming up from the spot.
Dare I say, a tad hesitant once he broke into the secondary. Nick Costa. I expected him to dart at that point and just go. Just go right now, because Nick Costa's strong.
Right.
He's fast. We've outlined his attributes already. And he seemed to chop his trying the sideline. Take the gap and go.
2nd and 8. Again, the LSU defense just swarming all over the place. Not much going on. Dave Peterson with the penetration. Fans, for exclusive news and reading coverage of your favorite teams, now to Rivals.com. I didn't know how big that was till I talked to some people, and I've got one good friend in San Antonio that checks it for Oklahoma every day, I think.
I'll tell you what, the radio shows, you know, during recruiting season, they can go 4 hours talking about this brand, that kid benched that, and all that. Hey, that's when I see it when they get here.
Well, Arizona's going to have to burn a timeout facing 3rd and 11 with 1:24 to play in the 3rd quarter. Looks like they didn't have the right personnel in there.
It appeared they didn't have a running on when they called the personnel group, and that's part of what happens when a team down big also is lose their focus in the ball game.
Now let's take a look at tonight's Allstate Good Hands play. You're in good hands with Allstate. How about if we give it to Devery Henderson?
Sure, why not?
Randall to Henderson, covered 55 yards. That made it 38-0. That's our Allstate Good Hands play. Devery Henderson.
That's a guy who's happy to be back in uniform and playing. You remember after the Bluegrass Miracle last year, suffered a broken arm and missed the last couple of games of the year. Skylar Green had to come in and place him and try and help with production there. Skylar did a good job, but Devery Henderson's a guy that you need on the field. So he's happy to be back out there playing.
Is that why his nickname was Boo Boo?
You know, we never did get a chance to ask him that.
No.
I don't know if he's a Yogi Bear fan or someone else in the family was. I'm sure it's a name given a lot of love and affection.
Sure.
Because he hasn't made very many boo-boos tonight, has he?
No, he's got 3 receptions for 75 yards and a touchdown. Not a bad little average. How about 25 yards a catch?
Got the National Play of the Year in his hip pocket from last year with the Bluegrass Miracle.
Who could forget that?
That was
I think Guy Moore is the person that wants to forget it.
See, that's why they don't. That's why you shouldn't throw the water on the coaches. They threw it on him too soon.
Yeah. That's right. I think that should be a penalty. A Gatorade shower. It should be 15 yards. Now, speaking of penalties, we have another. There's on our super shot of Coach Saban as we hear the penalty. Because coaches, even though you're up a lot, drives you nuts.
False start, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
But
please reset the clock to 1:24.
I'll be glad to get on. I'll help him out. Nick Saban is these coaches coach for 60 minutes, even though you're up a lot.
That's what he talked about. And I think Saban's be happy about is that as sloppy as Arizona's gotten in the second half, LSU has not allowed themselves to be dragged down into it.
That's right.
I mean, all the penalties, even a couple of questionable that we've about that went against Arizona, but they're all going against Arizona. LSU has refused to dive into that type of play. Keep this.
Here comes the blitz. Costa throws it out of the flat, caught up to the 22-yard line by Lance Relford. Way short of the first down. That'll bring up a punting situation.
You know, as the All-State goalpost cam shows us, there's a blitz coming from the outside. Nice coverage by Webster, just very cautiously and evenly. He knew how far Relford needed to go for the first down. He was nowhere close to that. And I go back to the old adage, you take what the defense gives you. What? You need more than that? You can't take what they give you.
That's right.
You have to take what you need. Arizona
exactly
didn't
right.
do that on that play.
I want to thank All-State Body tonight's Golf Camp. You're in good hands with All-State. Now the punt wasn't all that good, and again LSU's going to have excellent field position. Let's take you back in the game. You going up 6-0, die on the 1-yard run. How about an 8-yard run? And how about Mock on a 4-yard run? That made it 24-0. Went up to 31. Clayton, the 48-yard touchdown reception. Good yards after catch. And as you saw, Henderson on a 55-yard from Randall. Tyrone Carey got into the back, bams his way in from a yard out, and we are at 40-0. 30 seconds left here in quarter number 3. Hesitation on the run. Barrington Edwards trying to get his first collegiate carries tonight. The big 6-foot, 213-pound freshman. True freshman, I might add. He's got an injury here from Arizona, and boy, you're John Makovic. You don't want to see that.
No, Ziante Sherman, the junior college transfer defensive back, playing tonight because Gary Love, as you mentioned near the beginning of the game, didn't dress tonight with a bad ankle. And it looks like
they both play the same position.
Same position. Ziante Sherman's grabbing his. Not good. Tough night all the way around for Coach John Makovic and the Arizona Wildcats.
And you know, look at it again. What happened?
Ziante Sherman, number 10 in blue, helping on the tackle. And as he goes down, it was that his teammate stepped on his ankle as diving on the pile. You know, those cleats, they're not soft.
No. This is grass out here.
It's grass, but the cleats that are on the bottom of the shoe, when they hit body, they hurt. And I think that appears to be what happened to Ziante Sherman as he gets up and gingerly walks off.
That's a guy. You want to see that?
That is a good one. Can I go back to the last series for LSU quickly?
Sure.
Ali Broussard, true freshman running back, was the guy who fumbled the ball. You know, not in this series.
Good point.
But they've been rotating between he and Barrington Edwards. But I'll tell you, Ali Broussard is getting an earful of ball security. And son,
that's right.
You're going to play on this field. I don't care if you're a true freshman. If I'm putting you out there, you take care of the football.
Because that's something you learn at a very young age. Randall throwing a deep pass was caught. Past the 45 down to the 43-yard line. Skylar Green, a sophomore at 5'9", 190 pounds, kind of a water bug. Green's first reception of the evening. There you see Ali Broussard.
He is a load, and I'm sure he'll get the ball again, but he will remember what the coach has said about keeping.
Well, that's the end of 3 quarters. 15 minutes left for LSU. 2-0 for the 7th time in the last 8 years. They lead by a bundle.
Philips digital widescreen televisions. Life should be so. And every TV should be this amazing. It's big yet slim, a centerpiece yet unobtrusive. But the true beauty of it is the Philips Active Control System, able to adjust for sharpness, clarity, and color automatically 60 times per second for an incredibly vivid picture. Now through September 2004. Get financing and a mail-in rebate for a free portable DVD LC player at Sears.
Got to admit, it's getting better, a little better all the time. Jump for joy.
With new Odor Eaters Plus. Odor is the only insole with podiatric arch support plus expert demand against odor and wetness.
Jump for joy, new Odor Eaters Plus.
Vin Diesel is now on DVD in one of the most adrenaline-driven, never-before-seen DVDs you won't want to miss. Vin Diesel, a man apart. Bring home the action.
They're engineers, doctors, students. They live at home and train near home. They're a cornerstone of the U.S. Army. They're soldiers in the Army Reserve. And they are ready to serve wherever, whenever they're needed. For more information, log on to GoArmyReserve.com.
Fourth quarter set to get underway here at Stadium. LSU took the lead early, and they've never looked 45 and the number 13 team in the country. I'm with Charles Davis, Craig Sager, Aaron Andrews. I'm Ron Finley. Glad you're staying with us. Randall on 1st and 10 from the 44. That is a catch to Skylar Green. As we welcome you back to college football, and test part of Big PlayStation Saturday. Again, the score 45-0 LSU. Bernie Johnson, Brad Bosworth in our studio. We are glad you're with us as we kick off college football here on TBS. First of 11 games. Next week we'll be right back here as Pac-10 Conference gets underway with Arizona taking over. Now we have Justin Vincent, Harrington Edwards in the I formation for LSU. Look at youngsters. Man through the hole over the 30 onto the 28-yard line. It's Justin Vincent. As we mentioned, over 6,000 LSU fans are here. Aaron Andrews is with some of them. Aaron?
They haven't even moved yet. Ron, I introduce you first to these. We've spent almost $800 to come here. Guys, was it worth the trip and the money?
Oh, yes. We're going to all the away games, and we're going to bring all of our friends with us.
All right, before we let you go, we got to introduce you to the cow and to the Elvis. Now, guys, you couldn't start tailgating until hours before kickoff. That cramps you style, doesn't it?
That's right. We're used to starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, so we party more than this for a girls' volleyball game.
Well, no matter what time they started tailgating, guys, I think they're pretty happy with the score and with the game. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Barry Edwards gave him something to cheer about, a 22-yard. I hope my dog Texas Tech didn't get any ideas about away games.
I'm a little worried because you remember Elvis had that plane, the Lisa Marie, that he'd co-pilot in the middle of the night and just take off and go somewhere. Aaron, be careful. If Elvis says let's go for a flight, don't do it.
First call from the 7 for LSU. Vincent and Ed in the I formation. First man through Justin Vincent. He is going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. May even have lost a yard. You have to love it though, because the Pipa Hotel, the LSU fans, they're some of the greatest. They were, very kind to us today and joking. They were ready to see their Tigers football.
Without a doubt, and it was interesting. I talked with some longtime observers of LSU football, and they say, we think we're going to be pretty good this year, but we are so young. We actually think that 2004 is the bigger year. I'm not so sure they should just up there.
Yeah.
They might up to 2003. It's a big run at it.
Look at it again. Randall looking in the flat, overthrows the intended receiver, Justin Vincent. As LSU looking to a non-conference road win, which would be their first since 1991 when they beat Tulane 39-20.
I get a kick out of that and that stat for this reason. This is a team that doesn't go on the road in conference games very often on the road. Last year they went to Virginia Tech as a non-conference game. That was one of the few that they've played on the road since 1991. So it's not very often that they go out and do it because they can make more money at home and more invite other teams in that they can take care of to Tiger Stadium.
Randall sees a big hole, he's got some running room, looking for pay dirt, stretches, doesn't get it. Gets down to the one. Brooks laid the wood to him.
both sides. Marcus Randall steps up in the pocket. There's the gap. Klein cleaned out the middle of the field for him. Now watch the effort by Randall, number 12, putting his shoulder down, and Brooks, number 6, big hit.
How about 13 total tackles for Darrell Brooks tonight? Yeoman's effort.
That's a guy who's playing and not looking at work.
That's right. By the way, that game where they won in 1991, if my memory serves me, it was on TBS.
In the Superdome.
In the Superdome.
That's been LSU to win every year.
In fact, they were 8-3-1 on TBS during the old SEC days.
I know one of their losses on TBS.
4th down and goal. LSU going for it. Kick it back. Edwards. Look, have a penalty flag thrown as Edwards has run out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
Great effort by the Arizona defense. I shouldn't root, but please don't let this penalty be on Arizona.
I know.
You know, they've had so many good plays negated tonight.
They've been penalized 8 times for 60 yards, and it is against. Well, John Makovickius. Yeah, why not? I have another.
12 men on the defense. Penalty will be in half the distance of the goal. Replay, 4th down.
That's why they stopped them.
It always helps when you have more than the other team. That would have been a double problem, right?
Yeah.
It would have been very embarrassing if they'd gotten in and you had 12 guys on the field.
Now we'll try this 4th down and 1 again. Again, it's Edward Vincent in high formation. Over the top, no signal. There it is, another touchdown LSU. Justin Vincent. His first collegiate touchdown.
Coming right at you. They are so deep at the tailback position. Justin Vincent is a true tailback. They've used him at fullback this entire series and given him the ball and a number of quick hitters going inside.
Oh, what got it was that second effort.
Yeah, and that's what they need from him. But think about all the tailbacks that we've seen tonight. Adai, number 10, Chiron, number 2, Edwards, number 32, Broussard, 22, and Vincent, 25. The only way to get them more playing was to put them both on the field at the same time.
Chris Jackson's extra point is good. He remains perfect. And with 12:40 left to play in the ball game, LSU adds another 7 onto the scoreboard.
Tell me what's been bothering you.
Obviously, I have a lot of tics.
What would you do if you had to change gears?
What, if I wasn't an antiques broker?
If you weren't a criminal?
Critics are calling Matchstick Men an intelligent and captivating film. Remarkable and award-worthy in every way. A Academy Award winner's Cage in a Ridley Scott film. Matchstick Men.
Would you say you set an example in your trade?
You bet I do.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, September.
Hey, Louisiana, do you want to get here? How about here? Cruise the Venetian. Well, it all starts with this. Venetian Nights in Vegas $2 scratch off from the Louisiana Lottery. Ties $10,000. You could win a chance to be a contestant on the Powerball Instant Millionaire Game Show here at the fabulous Venetian Hotel Casino. You could win $1 million. I'll see you in Vegas.
Let's face it, stuff happens. I'm personal injury attorney Michael Hingle. When stuff happens to you with an 18-wheeler, you need an experienced, aggressive attorney.
Michael Hingle has offices in Baton Rouge, Hammond, New Orleans.
If you wreck with a big rig, we'll take them to court, and they will be so big. Before you accept a quick check, check with me.
Call attorney Michael Hingle at 1-800-USA-JURY.
12:49 play in the ball game. The number 13 team in the country, LSU, showing us wide 13. They lead at 52-0. Let's go down to Craig Sager with more on the offensive line of Arizona. Craig?
Well, Ron, the game may be lost, but the coaches are still working together. Mike Deal and John Makovic getting together, looking at what they will accomplish here in the fourth quarter. First string offensive line for Arizona will remain in the game. Now, remember last year, they all played over 50 snaps. 2 of them played all 69. However, John Makovic said, listen, we have not got any rhythm whatsoever. Yes, we ran into a buzzsaw, but as long as we're going to put Nick Costa and Ryan O'Hare out there, he told Mike Deal he wants first string offensive line out out there to protect them. So they're definitely a experiment on here, trying to work on something the rest of the year.
Well, with the amount of practice time, Craig, at 20 hours a week, this is just an elongated practice now for them. You know, you get some repetition.
And it's a good idea if you're going to leave the two quarterbacks out there that you're counting on to have the best guy there blocking for them, because LSU is just teeing off at this point because they have to throw the football.
Well, Ryan O'Hara is going to come into the lineup, the big 6'6" redshirt freshman out of Pasadena, California, the high school All-American who's also recruited heavily for basketball. And I was asking him about it, and he starts naming off some pretty hefty teams signed with to play hoops.
Yeah, he did say the University of Utah with the Running Utes.
Yeah.
He said he had a good friend in there, and he could have gone there and played.
From their own 20-yard line. Mike Bell and Gilbert Harris, so they got the starting backfield in there.
John Makovic is serious about trying to see if this unit establish some rhythm before the night is over.
O'Hara's pass is complete. Ryan said that after games like tonight, all he's got to do is look at his little brother Dustin's picture, a 14-year-old suffering from a serious kidney disease, and he said that is his inspiration to play.
I have a letter he wrote to me during the year, when he wrote to me in camp, and he just expressed like how happy he was playing Division I football. And whenever I get down or I have a tough time or I think life is too hard on me, I just think of my brother, and I think that he would do anything to trade places with me.
Well, Dustin, we wish you the best friend on a kidney transplant list, and we hope you get that as quickly as possible. But your big brick went upside of his head. Cameron Vaughn is the one who laid the wood to him.
Saw a penalty flag down on the play also.
Oh my. No, the hits just keep on coming. That'll be play number 10 against John Makovic.
And this is the first unit. This isn't a mismatched group of guys. The first unit on offense is in the game, and another illegal procedure.
Well, you look at the time of position. Listen into the call first.
Illegal for 6 men on the line on the offense. Penalty is declined. Third down.
And you look at the time of possession, LSU 30.5. The Arizona offense only had the ball 16 minutes.
Well, we can see why, because they can't run the football, so they've not been unable to keep the clock moving on off. Last penalty, 6 men on the line. Usually means that a wide receiver did not line up in the correct spot for formation, didn't get up on the line of scrimmage.
O'Hara throws this one up for grabs, passes incomplete. Intended for Cedric Stepper. Ronnie Prude running with him, stride for stride. I think if you're Arizona now, you want to get over 100 total yards. They only have 88 in this ball game.
So many different storylines to this game that we could focus on. We talked about the emotion in the beginning. We talked about whether Arizona's defensive front can handle, can stand up to LSU's offensive line. But one thing I was tonight is that on offense, Arizona's receiver did not get open against LSU's defensive back. They just cannot get open and present themselves as a good target for their quarterbacks. Ball hit him.
That should be Arizona's football, and it is. Jay Boulware's squad of the specialty team is going to get an attaboy as Mike Jolivet was ready to do it.
And on the flip side,
well, he got a little hold there too.
Derek Dooley's defense. Derek Dooley, who coaches the special teams for LSU, he's not going to be very happy there. Number 29, Travis Daniels. What happens on a punt like that is the punt return. Let everyone know it's not a good punt to get away. They make a special call that means get away. Either they didn't communicate it very well, or Travis Daniels just flat out didn't hear it. And the ball goes back to Arizona.
Well, coaches always like something to harp on Monday. Now they got something.
He's got something to work with now.
He's got a legitimate one now. He's going to keep it on the ground. Gilbert Harris, the son of San Antonio, Texas, played for Churchill High School. In fact, one of his arch rivals was Matt Padron, who went to Clark High School in San Antonio. Is the tight end now for Arizona Wildcats, and they had the Gucci Bowl Thursday night featuring Churchill and Clark, and Gilbert has bragging rights. Churchill upset. A little Texas trivia for you there.
That's pretty good. Why do you call it Gucci Bowl?
It's a nice area. Let's put it that way. Both areas are nice. That's what I think. I have no idea.
See, I would have been playing in the TJ Maxx Bowl or something like that, you know?
We'd be in the IC Light Bowl in Pittsburgh. O'Hara's going to get Samir out of the ball. Pass is incomplete. Ryan Eitzen, the intended receiver. Check out what's coming to TBS.
Man has his breaking point, but when a man has nothing to lose, he'll put everything on the line. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Maximum Risk. Sunday Eastern, only on TBS Superstation.
You know, Ryan O'Hara told us that he loves the long ball, but you got to be able to throw it.
You got to be able to throw it, and that means time. And I know Arizona has spent plenty of time working on protection. John Beck told us, and Mike Beal, they've spent 5 hours more than normal. Preseason practice.
Tipped away at the last second. Ronnie Prude, an excellent defensive play. Ricky Williams, the intended receiver, and that was the best pass that Ryan O'Hara has thrown tonight.
You're exactly right. He couldn't have thrown it any better. Back to my point as we take a look from the All-State goalpost cam. Just not been able to get away from the defensive backs, although that one
should have been caught.
Mike
Jefferson, my bad.
You know, Mike Jefferson had it right there. I think Ronnie Prude's hand may have distracted him a little, but that's one that they're going to say, got to catch it.
Well, they're going to 50-yard field goal right now. Bobby Gill, pretty good strong leg. Let's see what they do. From 50 yards out, it's a fake.
I don't think it's a planned one, though.
Molina throwing it up in the air, and it is going to be brought down by Ronnie Prude.
I think that was a planned call.
No, I don't do. Well, Prude comes up with the interception for LSU, and they'll take over with 10:50 to play in the ball game.
The Pac-10 Education Initiative is a focused effort to assist teachers in improving elementary and middle school test scores. At the heart of the initiative is a learning program called Kids College, and it uses Pac-10 sports activities for boys and girls to teach math and language skills. Kids College makes learning fun. Log on now to learn more. The Pac-10, the Conference of Champions.
The Home Depot is more than a door. It's a commitment to having the lowest possible prices every day, and not just a promise. It's the assurance of a price protection guarantee. It's a reminder of just how smart you really are. Little extra change in your pocket, and the know-how to make every dollar work. It's more than a store. The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Hits come from all sides, man. You gotta see the whole field, the whole time. Peripheral vision. That's the key.
Rated E for everyone.
Top of the show, we talked about how Nick Saban's have a very dominant offensive line, and he had to agree with us on that.
We're able to do more things, and they're able to help our team more because they have an ability to control the line of scrimmage to some degree. The things we do in pass protection that actually enable us to enhance some of the skill guys that we have, their ability to make big plays is, you know, because of what these guys' experience and knowledge enables them to do in pass protection, and I think that's a real key for us.
Even the second team has done it. Marcus Randall back in at quarterback. Ali Broussard, not much running room, loses the football. Like, did Arizona score? Yes! Oh my! Deontay Sherman recovered the loose ball. Broussard fumble of the night. Justin Stewart caused it. Sherman was the recipient.
The All-State goalpost cam gives us a great view. No balls secured in the middle of the pile as Broussard was going down. Ball popped free. Deontay Sherman back from the injured ankle. The end zone. I'm wondering if he was down here.
Yeah,
did the ground cause this fumble? I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would say that the caused the fumble, but Arizona's going to be the beneficiary. Part talked about the possibility that Nick Saban would be looking for things that he'd be able to coach.
Yep.
He's not going to say the ground caused the fumble. We tell hard, you must protect the football.
Well, but, let's
you
go
cost
back.
us a shutout tonight.
Oh, yeah, but you almost have to go back to the interception. Yes, the interception by Ronnie Prude was great, but Nick Saban said you should have knocked it down because we got worse field position.
Because of field position. You got to know all the plays. You have to know what all the situations are, and it's a great point. Nick Saban's the coach just as hard on his side tonight because he doesn't want to see any sloppy play as John McAfee is on the other.
Bobby with the extra point. College football on TBS. Brought to you by digital widescreen projection televisions. The Home Depot. Go from wondering how to at the Home Depot. You can do it and we can help. PlayStation 2 and the United States Army, an army of one. So the goose egg is off the scoreboard for Arizona, albeit a kind of a different kind of play, but nevertheless it's 52-7, 10:42, and that gives you a little breathing room because next week we'll be right here as Arizona takes on Oregon, and that's a whole different mentality when you play a conference game.
Because now you have the familiarity of your conference opponent. John McAfee talked about that with us. He said, hey, we know Oregon. We know all about them. We hear about them. You get your clippings each week, the Oregon teams, to help you with scouting. We didn't know much about LSU. They didn't know much about us. We just wanted to play well tonight. That hasn't happened. They can get back in the conference. And you're not as intimidated by playing a conference team because of the familiarity.
Of course, that'll be 10 o'clock Eastern time right here on TBS Station. And I think he's going to get a couple of game balls. One has to go to Darrell Brooks, the free safety, who's played a complete 60 minutes. Skylar Green from the one. He's going to be stacked up at the 15-yard line. And that's where LSU will take over for first from their 15. 10:34 to play in the ball game. Says it, doesn't it?
The old picture's worth 1,000 words.
No, that's it. Stills and Barrington Edwards down the backfield for LSU. Edwards bounces off the right side. Arizona's there to wrap them up. Lock one on the play. Well, stick around for the Schick Quattro post-game report. Ernie Johnson and Brian Bosworth will catch you up on all of today's action, including Oklahoma's victory over Alabama, that exciting Florida-Miami football game. I guess Ernie wants to call it the Boz Show now?
No, I think Boz wants to call it the Boz.
That's good for me.
And you think Ernie's going to protest? Or I didn't see him.
But Boz at halftime when he was talking about playing 60 minutes of football, it was like I was listening to Barry Switzer. He had that accent going and everything.
As a former player, your head coach has an influence on you for your whole life.
Well, Dwayne Bowe, the freshman out of Miami, comes up with the reception. Good looking pass from Marcus Randall. Let's take it from a different angle for LSU. Matt Moss hasn't played that much. That is a thing I would think. You want your starting quarterback to get reps, but you also, a guy coming off the seriousness of the injury he had, you don't want to take any chances.
Right, and they were able to get him out tonight with a quote-unquote limited number of reps because his reps were good prior to the time they took him out. I saw earlier today Michigan kept John Navarre in the ball because his reps weren't very good. They wanted to get him a rhythm. A little bit different tonight here from Matt Mock, and that's the exact situation in LSU.
Justin Vincent, penalty flag is thrown. He crosses the 5 up to the 38. Mock, by the way, 9 throwing the football tonight for 137 yards and a touchdown. There he is on the sideline. He's got the baseball cap, which is probably pretty familiar for him to have on. Getting just a little bit. I like how all the players are telling us they want to mooch food off he and his fiancée.
Yeah, I asked him if he was paying for food from his baseball contract. He said he didn't get the same bonus Chris Wenke did when he left baseball and came back to Florida State.
Good, and of course Nick Saban recruited him.
Holding, offense, penalty, previous spot, replay, first down.
The recruit him in Michigan State was thinking about putting him on the defensive side of the football, but talking to Matt yesterday, he is the guy every father wants their son, wants their daughter to marry. I mean, he is the son you want to have. He's a pre-med major. Parents live in one of the great names of Santa Claus, Indiana.
Does that mean that every day is like December 25th?
I like when we have Jasper, Indiana, was about half hour from French Lick.
Yeah. Yeah, who was the nutcase who asked him about where was Hickory?
Yeah.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, that was you. Yeah, and he knew. Keeping it on Justin Vincent over the left side. Louis Nunez comes up with a stop. He crosses the 25 up to about the 7-yard line as we're closing in on 8.5 left to be played in this ball game.
You know, it's interesting when Nick Saban was talking about Matt Mock and the improvement he has made in being able to throw the football. Because there's a different way of throwing as a third baseman, which is how he was drafted. Then he would be a catcher, another motion of throwing. Then he's back to quarterback, a separate motion of throwing. And that's why Nick Saban told us, yeah, I thought if we'd stayed in Michigan State, he would have been a safety for us. I wonder if Matt knew that. Because that was a surprise statement to hear that from Coach Saban.
Randall throws it out to Dwayne Bowe. Hey, you talk about that throwing motion. I guess we should call Joe Simpson out for that. Here's the throwing motion. There's the.
That looks a lot like the third baseman motion.
That's
right
not
there.
a catcher throw.
No, because not from behind here. But here he is throwing the football. You see how he's trying to bring the shoulder, get that shoulder through there. The finish. That's pretty nice right there. Who had the baseball?
I like that. Somebody.
That's good stuff.
Who's all over.
Did Sakes have that in his pocket?
Yeah.
You talk about a man who travels prepared.
Yeah. I love Matt saying that it hit him when he was playing minor league baseball. He actually was in Michigan. He didn't want to be a 27-year-old degree. Randall throws it up for grabs. Drill intercepted. No drop. Tony Wingate had it in his hands. The junior from right here in Tucson, Arizona, just couldn't get the meat hooks on it.
But you've got to love the effort. You've got to love the effort. These are guys now playing without looking at the scoreboard. Ball goes up in the air. Poor throw by Randall. Bowe tries to get it. He and Nunez tip the ball up into the air. And watch this effort by Wingate trying to get the ball. And also at the same time, he's catching it on the backside by Gary Shepard, who bumps into Wingate. Not prevents him from getting the football.
Well, here's a first tonight. Jones, one of the best punters in the country, Wingate is still down, is going to kick one for LSU, and this is the first punt for the Tigers. And Wingate may have just come down on the point of that football.
Yeah, probably landed on and knocked the wind out of him. That's what we hope anyway. We hope that there's nothing more. But you say Donnie Jones is going to punt for LSU?
Well, he's going to punt. Donnie Jones, a senior out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I hope he's stretched out.
Yeah, really.
He hasn't done it all night.
Well, it's a little bit better than the last non-conference game, one of the non-conference games last year against Virginia Tech when he had a couple blocks. And LSU, this is much better night.
He'll take this time. 6'3", 217. Remember when Russell Erksleben was that size as a punter and a kicker? My goodness, it seems like all of them are getting to be that way now.
Now look at Arizona is lining 10 on the line of scrimmage. LSU spread their formation. Now they're back and go to punt formation. Jones, good snap. Left-footed kicker drives this one. He was loose. Back to the 15-yard line.
Oh, great tackle by Corey Webster.
That's how you wrap somebody up. 7:51 to play in the ball game. Arizona has football, but they trail.
Man has his breaking point, but when a man has nothing to lose, he'll put everything on the line. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Max Rest, the 8 Eastern, only on TBS Superstation.
The show with style, substance, and sophistication is back in prime time. Seinfeld Prime Time, every Wednesday night starting at 8 Eastern on TBS Superstation.
Spicy garlic shrimp, filed chicken, and our famous baby back ribs. Chili's Fajita Trio. Want more flavor?
On September 26th,
give me the rundown.
One movie takes a jump to the extreme.
I hope you enjoy the fall.
Heads up.
What? Oh, you're like a little birdie up there. Caw, caw, caw. Great.
What is he doing?
The Rundown.
Establish dominance.
Rated PG-13.
Spicy garlic shrimp, fire grilled chicken, and our famous baby back ribs. Chili's Fajita Trio. Want flavor?
52-7 is pretty impressive score, 7:51, and of course everybody's already talking about, is this team national championship caliber? How about, are they good as the 1958 LSU national championship team that went 11-0, 3-5-2, 3-5 Paul Dole had only 3 seniors among his 55-man roster. It didn't seem like 58 would be the next year, but it was. Dominated by juniors, sophomores, and with a 10-0 record, a national championship in hand, LSU accepted an invitation to take on the Tigers of Clemson in the Sugar Bowl, 1959. Finished up at 0.
See that number 20 throwing the pass?
Yes.
Billy Cannon, who won the Heisman Trophy the next year.
In 1959.
Now, how about those teams, that team of Dietzels? Because remember, the one platoon football was starting, they're starting to get out of that. He had 3 separate teams within one on that one.
Yeah, the white team.
The white team.
Go.
The Go team, and the Chinese Bandits. The white team was the team that went ways, played offense and defense. The Go team was the offensive specialists, and the Chinese Bandits were the defensive specialists. Chinese Bandits coming from a line from the comic strip Terry and Pirates, about how tough the Chinese Bandits were.
You're good.
And that's where it came from, and that's what they adopted, and that team went 11-0. But did you hear you recited the records that
yes.
Paul Dietzel leading up to that year.
Yes.
Paul Dietzel doesn't keep his job nowadays, 3 years like that.
Absolutely.
He's not around national champion year. A lot of patience.
At some places, 7-4, you're not going to.
Exactly.
Ryan O'Hare rifles the pass off the fingertips of the 28 line of Ryan Eitz, the redshirt freshman out of Moraga, California. Never lost a high school game, that young man.
In 2 games here at Arizona, right?
Yeah,
he's lost 2 more than he's ever lost. He played at Concord de la Salle, which is still on the streak.
Yep,
right?
Powerhouse. Great players come from.
I mean, they've won how many in a row now? 130-something games?
I thought 133.
But it's interesting with that. They go and play big opponents all the time, too. They don't just, play a bunch of pads. I mean, they went to Hawaii.
Well, O'Hara's got some time. This time he dumps it off to Sean Jones. The big fullback throws up a stiff arm, gets close to the 30-yard line. There you can see Nick Saban. Isn't that perfect? Penalty flag is thrown, but he's going, you got to put him up. He was right in the defender's face on that one as Jones threw up the stiff arm.
The guy he's jumping on is a true freshman. Look, he's ready for him to grow up right now. Take your angle and get to the play.
Yep. It's against Arizona again.
I think that's what you're being emphatic in your coaching.
Yeah. Yes. But when you look at Nick and who he coached under, I mean, Bill Belichick, Jerry Glanville, George Perlis, Earl Bruce, some of the great names were all intensive coaches. Teams take on personality of coaching.
And the coach has to coach to his personality also. You can't be something you're not.
Face mask, offense, 15-yard penalty from the foul. We play
on the stiff arm.
Even trying to do the right thing. So we take a look right there. Got a full grasp of it. Wow. He's got every bit of it, doesn't it?
He had it all. Yep.
But he's trying the right thing.
That's right.
The stiff arm, which a lot of people say is the lost art for running back, but he got it tangled up in the mask, and he became a 15-yarder because he never released the mask.
You've got to let 6.5 to play, 52-7. Arizona with the football. Nice little spin move by Chris Farmer. Getting some running time. Weren't sure if we were going to see Farmer tonight because of a sore shoulder. Was limited in practice this week. This is a young man, though, that led the Pac-10 in rushing in 2001. Only played 4 games last year.
due to a bad knee.
And you'd like to see Farmer get healthy because Bell and Farmer together in the backfield is intriguing.
You can do a lot of things with it, similar to what LSU had last year with Dominic Davis and LeBrandon Tofield.
Now Molina with the kick at the 38-yard line. Skylar Green, look out. One man to beat and take it home, Skylar. Punt return for Skylar Green and a celebration penalty in zone.
With new rules now, they can do after the kick, I believe. Well, look at the space that he's got right here. Let's see what he gets. As he gets back to the wall, now let's look and see what he gets. Block right there. Nice block for him. And then after that, a good job here, not blocking. Looked like LaRon Landry, number 30, downfield. Smart play, blocking from behind and negating the turn.
After the score, dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, high-fiving the fans. The penalty will be enforced on off.
Now, the last time an opponent returned a punt for a touchdown against this Arizona team was 1991, Arizona State. Now they watch a little NFL. That's weak.
At least he didn't, you know.
He didn't jump up. He just kind of put his hand up. That's kind of weak there. Well, 59-7 is our score. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in this football game.
All I want is a room somewhere. Nice hello, not a questionnaire. And a great breakfast on the house. Local calls, no charge, thank you. And someone who calls my name and says,
"Hey, Mr. Jensen, you missed a button there." At Hampton Inn, you got it, Mr. Jensen. Folks will do everything to make you feel refreshed, completely loverly, utterly satisfied. We love having you.
Oh, wouldn't it be lovely?
Baby, I got everything. A little desk so there's no homework in front of the TV, a computer, and I'm all over the schoolhouse. Look, I got pens, notebooks, binders, calculator, these stretchy book covers. We are so set for school.
Want to get your kids off to a great start in school? The only place to go is Office Depot. Low prices every day. Because the earlier you start, the better prepared your kids will be.
59-7 is our 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in this ball game. Let's send it back to Atlanta for a moment with Ernie Johnson and Brian Bosworth, who is probably on 59 end of a score a lot of times. Bos?
Yeah, I think Bob, you know how the outside feels here. I don't think you've been on that Arizona side very often, have you?
I think Arizona's just a little off tonight, that's all. They're not that far away.
We're going to see them again next week against Oregon.
Can we get some baby backs in for that, and we can at least put some food on the table?
Yes, we will do our best, but it's just one of those long nights, I reckon. If you're the guys who have the slogan of "Bear Down," as Arizona long has, but it's been all LSU night.
I think it's going to be a long year for the Pac-10, except for USC. I think the Pac-10 will be for a long, ugly, boring season.
Despite all of that being said, the Schick Quattro post-game report will be coming your way.
Thank God we got the Big 12.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of highlights. Yeah, we'll have highlights of today. Big games, right? Oklahoma winning. Yeah.
Florida. You get my little girl soccer game going? They didn't play too well today. I'm a little upset about that.
It was kind of maybe an Arizona-type performance.
They were living on last week's championship. They didn't do well today. I'm upset.
If that doesn't keep you stuck to the SETI post-game report, I don't know what will. Ron?
You, Ernie. Just your, my friend.
I have a feeling Brian's going to be back with his soccer team, working with the sweepers and midfielders.
There you go.
To make sure that they improve their performance.
Well, Cedric Steptoe had a pretty good kickoff return there. That's one of the very few bright spots for John McAfee as his team trails bundled down by 52, closing in on 5.5 to play. But Arizona has their best field position. Boy, there's everybody dancing around.
Yes.
Somebody tell LSU that if they hurry this up, they'll beat that 5:30 a.m. arrival in Baton Rouge.
Back in Baton Rouge on their charter jet. I'm just laughing. I'm envisioning Brian with game film of his daughter's soccer team.
Yeah.
Or got telestrator going. This didn't work right. Probably getting some film of the Women's World Cup team from the U.S.
Right. Yeah.
This is what we want.
This is how we got to have it.
Everybody on the field for Prince.
Well, by looking at that, you wouldn't know that he is up by a bunch.
No, and you made a great point about a quarter ago about him being able to coach the whole way through and what he can get on him about what they work on. The ammunition is piling up for him as the game continues to go on about different things that he can say didn't go well. And these officials, speaking of moving it along.
Yeah, really.
Offside, defense, neutral zone violation. Defender jumped into the neutral zone and caused center to react.
I mean, no offense, but that took that long.
They were quick on the high five when he threw up his hand, but
that one was pretty good. That's pretty easy.
Coach Nick didn't like it.
I think he's probably saying they were drawn offside. Yeah. I mean, as any good coach would say when his team gets a penalty against them, got to defend the fellas.
Everybody was jumping around on that one, though.
Yeah, it just wasn't a pretty look.
Arizona's going to keep it on the ground. Mike Bell back in the lineup. He's been sitting an awfully long time. I mentioned it near the end of the third quarter, and Craig Sager that they're going to put the first team back in because they wanted to get him some reps and protect him. Nick Saban's had his reserves in pretty much all the second half. Reserves have done a pretty good job.
I think overall, even though Saban will be getting on his team about a few things, has to be pleased that the intensity level stayed high throughout the ball game for the LSU Tigers.
60 minutes. Here's Bell. Tries to get around that short side of the field, and he takes one upside the head. Knocked back about cards.
Big hit by, this is Willie Depps, number 45, going to come into the screen, inside out, almost perfect form. Taking him right over to the sideline, didn't overrun the play.
Well, one of the reasons LSU up so much, the Matt Mock, 9 of 10 throw, and he's with Craig Sager.
Baseball catcher turned football quarterback, has the baseball cap on, gets the games pretty well in hand. Why were you able to get such a great rhythm so early and keep it?
I just compliment the offensive line. I think they did a great job tonight keeping guys off me, and our receivers were in great routes, and I think Coach Fisher, the offense, had to call a great game.
You guys talked about going on the road on a Pac-10 opponent. You learned a lot early in this, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. I think Arizona's going to have a good team. I think we just came out and finally executed, and things we did this week, we came out and we tried to work on. I think we did a good job as a team, but I think they're going to be a good team yet this year.
Brian Bosworth has been blasting them in the studio. Why do you think they'll be a good team?
Well, I just think it's kind of, it was an early game. I think we jumped early and maybe kind of knocked the wind out of them a little bit. But I think they're they have some talent. I think they're going to do all right.
We'll talk about the young team you have, the talent for next year and all, but the way you guys are playing now, what are the goals for this season?
I think the one thing we did as a team is we made sure that all of our goals aren't like a championship or anything like that. We want things team-oriented, and I think winning championships comes with teams playing hard together.
Win today, Western Illinois next, and then you got the conference play with Georgia.
That's right. We're looking forward to next week's game, and definitely not ahead.
All right, thanks a lot. Great game, Ryan.
All right, Mac Mock, an individual. You're going to hear a lot from that young man.
Comment too about not looking ahead. He's hoping Coach Saban hears that remark.
Well, he's also the oldest on the team. He knows
he has a little bit. He has a little bit different perspective, and you can never overlook a team nickname, the Leathernecks.
There you go. Clarence Farmer, stiff arm. Let Farmer get some serious playing time, and he's showing flashes now of what we saw a couple of years ago. A couple of plays ago, wasn't afraid to take on the defender.
Actors always ask all the time when they get ready to do a scene, what's my motivation?
Yeah.
Well, I think Clarence Farmer's motivation has been number 11, Mike Bell,
because
he's played so since the spring, and Clarence Farmer needs to step it up.
Here is Clarence Farmer just a couple of years ago when he led the Pac-10 in rushing, and he had that little hesitant, then he had that burst of speed plus the strength to throw off defenders.
Small wiggle and then get into the and win.
First down and 10 from the 11 for Arizona, trying to get an offensive touchdown. Stiff arm looks for the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. That is a big-time run, my friends.
And he's get flagged for his excessive celebration when he spiked the ball in the end zone. A little frustration of the night coming out, but that was a big-time run.
Oh, yes.
Clarence Farmer, welcome back.
That's exactly right.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. Touchdown is good.
Watch the move that he makes on the stop here and then jumps to his left. Look at that. He gained ground to jump. And then how about the stiff arm? Did I say it was a lost art? I don't think so.
That wasn't a
stiff
stiff
arm. He goes right over Nick, number 26.
I mean, that stiff arm flattened him.
That was big.
That was sweet. Farmer getting congratulations from his teammates.
Now, I'm not going to get carried away here, but he wears 32. Remember when Big Jim Brown used to use that stiff arm?
He'd flatten people with it.
He flattened people with it. Now, okay, you get my point here. I'm not going to Clarence Farmer's Jim Brown, but who is?
That's right.
But that was the type of move he made. Wow.
Yeah, well, this is a 35-yard extra point because of the penalty.
No longer automatic, is it?
No, it isn't. But at this point, it's just a good practice. And that's going to be wide to the right. And that's the problem Bobby Gill has had last week and during practice this week. Put everything to the right to the point where they worked on his alignment this week. And that does not please John Malkovich because they did spend time with Bobby this week. He still pushed it right.
And another team point for John Malkovich. See, Clarence, when you spike the ball 15 yards,
right.
Now it's a 35-yarder. We missed the extra point. This is a close ball game. That's a real problem for us.
Let's send it down to Craig Sager. Segs?
All right, you're talking about Bobby Gill having his balls go wide right. I met him in practice this week and talking about it, and he analyzed it as far as a golf swing. He says it's the same thing. He says, I'm not following through with my hip. When I do that, he says, I slice the golf ball. I'm doing the same thing. I have a problem with it, but we've worked on it. I think I have it corrected by basically lining up and coming through, closing my hips. But obviously that time, again, I'm a little bit open.
We play with that. Pushing that ball.
Hey, Craig, did he tell you what handicap he is playing to?
Well, I asked him that, and he said, well, obviously around here, I don't tell people my handicap. I have such great golfers. Remember, there's some female golfer here by the name of Annika one time, too.
Yeah, she was pretty good here, wasn't she?
Well, she wasn't bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
How about Rick Barnes? Got to play with Ricky down in Mexico a few years ago, and he's made quite a name for himself. Future PGA star.
Speaking of golfers, David Toms, a PGA champion, is an LA grad.
We can go to the list. Skylar Green. Still on his feet, trying to get the ball. I think it's loose. Nope. LSU got it with 3:51 to play. Danica Sorensen playing in the LPGA event in Tulsa, as a matter of fact. Coach Saban still prowling the sidelines.
Ball came out again. He's not going to be real happy with that. Last week they played in the monsoon back at Tiger Stadium. 39-minute rain. You could almost understand having trouble holding it there. But tonight is just a perfect evening.
You know, at the start of the game, we saw a little lightning. We were getting a little worried.
Thinking LSU brought it with them.
And that's what we were going to blame it on.
Because they went through that during their preseason practice where they had a scrimmage plan, warmed up, and had to go inside for an hour until the Lightning moved out of the area before they could start. So they had practice before that happened last week against Louisiana Monroe.
Well, the guys have to regroup because a week from tonight we'll be back here as they open up Pac-10 play against Oregon, 10 o'clock Eastern time, right here on TBS. Look at that. 2:15 to play. Barrington Edwards, the lone setback. He is upended before the line of scrimmage. Loses about 3 on the play. Andre Torrey, the junior out of Alameda, California, on the stop.
We talked about this off air a little bit, how coaches always say teams make the most improvement between game 1 and game 2. Well, for Arizona, that obviously didn't happen tonight. They're looking for now the improvement between game 1, game 2, and game 3, hoping they can pick it up and forward again. Sometimes you have a little setback along the way as you try to rebuild a program. That's what they're hoping, that they could just be a small one, move forward and get ready for Oregon.
You look for little bright spots at this point, I would think.
Definitely.
At a 2.5. LSU still with the football. Barrington Edwards getting the majority of the backup right now because Ali Broussard, 2 fumbles, 1 caused an Arizona touchdown. Allie's going to be thinking about this for a while, as will John Makovic and his squad.
Yeah, when they sit you on the bench, a little extra time to think about things and reflect.
Oh boy, that's it.
He may be the guy from LSU that will think it's a long flight home. You know, everybody else, because when you win, it's a very short flight. Doesn't matter if it takes you 8 hours, it's short because you won. He'll be the one guy going, man.
Well, nobody wants to next to him either.
No. He may be carrying the football to class with him come Monday.
I would have to think so. Set the kick it away. And he gets a hold of another. From the 21, it is fair caught. And we have a penalty flag thrown. 46 yards on the kick, another good kick by one of the best SEC and a man who's up for the Ray Guy Award on the watch list. How many penalties have we had tonight?
They've just mounted as we've gone along.
16 penalties, 11 for Arizona, 5 for LSU. This one on LSU. Seems like a lot more, doesn't it?
Yeah, legal shift. Probably when they brought their wide guys in for punt protection.
Illegal shift, offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous replay, 4th.
See, they don't, you just don't see shifts like the old Rockney box formation, remember?
That's right. And the old films,
Yep, 1, 2, 3, height. And they were so synchronized when they did it.
Yep.
Just don't shift like that anymore.
We need more of that. That and more nicknames.
Yeah, good nicknames. Good nicknames.
Well, it's another boomer. Nice spiraling kick. Fumble. Recovered back at the 23-yard line. 41 yards on that kick with 1:19 to play. LSU fans are still here. Arizona fans are not.
You know, as I watched LSU come off the field, you know who I saw? I saw a number of starting players who were still on the punt team. They didn't substitute for those guys on the punt team. Joseph Adai came to the field, Marcus Spears the field, Eric Alexander, the starting linebacker. Now, they didn't substitute in that area because you never want to have breakdowns in your special teams that can cost you down the road.
After tonight, I wonder if Boss is going to want to come back. What team to play?
He better come back.
O'Hara has a man wide open. Incomplete. Intended for Cedric Steptoe. Oh, I tell you, O'Hara has shown flashes, though, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He's put the ball in good spot. We saw where another ball was in the end zone that had a chance to be caught by Mike Jefferson, and he didn't catch it. Cedric Steptoe was thinking about running before he caught it. A true freshman. He's the same young man who just bobbled the punt return. And he comes back and drops what appears to be a possibility for a play, if not a touchdown.
Out of Bryan, Texas, Mike Hankwitz's recruiting area when he was with A&M was down around there.
It'd be nice now to get him the ball again, give him another opportunity.
Instead, they're going to keep it on the ground with Bell. There's that little shake move. This time he makes his way over 34-yard line. That'll be close to the first down. Inside of 60 seconds. Once again, next week, Oregon, Arizona. We open up Pac-10 play, and that's a whole nother season, friends.
And Oregon won today, right? 31-20.
Nice big win.
Good victory for the Oregon Ducks.
He's probably sitting at home watching this right now. Look forward to seeing you, Mike. Bell over the left side. looks up to the 40-yard line, and he is ushered out of bounds by LaRon Landry out of just a young freshman, a true freshman.
Yeah, they identified he and Jesse Daniels as two guys, even before they put pads on, as guys that went almost immediately to their two deep, and then both of them played well in their scrimmages, and that's why they hit the field game one against Louisiana Monroe. Jesse Daniels 42 played.
To hit. These two guys like to hit.
You know, Ron Landry had 10 tackles in his first scrimmage.
This might be it. Ryan O'Hara looking, floating it up in the air, and the pass is incomplete at the 28-yard line, intended for Mike Bell. And now he is landed awkwardly on that left elbow. Maybe a shoulder.
They can ill afford to lose him, but boy, does that look. That's tough right there. Because he's watch as he goes up and comes down. Watch the left side, the left arm. That's what it is. Oh, that's too bad.
Well, Chris Henry didn't dress tonight, a true freshman tailback, because of ankle problems. They're going to run a little screen. Penalty flag is thrown up to the 40-yard line. Gilbert Harris. I should say Sean Jones.
See what happens at the end.
Another face mask? No.
Well, he had shoulder pair, or maybe you see Cindric step-toe number 1.
Incidental face mask on the defense. 5-yard penalty. After enforcement of the penalty, it'll be a first down.
In the defense of the officials, who I got on a couple of minutes ago, at the speed of the game, when they're doing the twisting and the hand gets up, it probably appeared he had his hand on the face mask. He had all pads, as we saw, but it's easier for us because it's slowed down.
Oh, yeah, and all they see is the head twist.
Exactly, the naked eye, so that's a tough call.
Now, this is the last play of the game, maybe. Throw a little swing pass out. Nope, we'll have one more. There's 1 second left. Now going to let it run.
Mercifully, they let the clock go.
They finally let the clock go. Clarence Farmer had a touchdown tonight, got that pass. And that wraps it up. LSU took the lead early on, never gave it up. 59-13. Charles, quickly, can Arizona regroup?
They can if coaches handle it way. And you know something? I think they will at Arizona. It's a great coaching staff, and they'll take care of these young men. And I think they'll bounce back and play a much better game next Saturday.
John Makovic, Nick Saban meeting at the middle of the field. But the final score again, LSU wins at 59-13. And of course, our next telecast will be next Saturday at 10 Eastern on TBS. The Arizona Wildcats will host the Oregon Ducks. For Charles Davis, Craig Sager, Aaron Andrews, and the rest of the crew here in Tucson, Arizona, I'm Ron Thulin saying good night from Tucson, Arizona. After this break, it's the Schick Postcard with Ernie Johnson and Brian Bosworth.
With this computer, you can even edit and burn home movies on DVD.
That'll be great for the stuff we'll shoot on vacation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, where are you going? Rafting.
Hold on, kid! That's it, Larry! Good job, buddy!
Where's Boo?
Did I mention you can edit stuff out?
That'd be good.
Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. Best Buy.
It's been 40 years since we began crossing this land. In that time, we've used more than our share of ingenuity and tenacity to build a company and a nation. And together, we've overcome challenges the size